Let the bass kick.
You know, it's funny how often these things happen to us.
That is very green apple.
I mean, the color of it is almost like nuclear waste. Whoopsie! Whoopsie! What up?
Pineapple.
What up?
Pineapple punch.
What
Fruitcake.
up? Hey guys, what up? Welcome to episode
Fruitcake, the
40.
worst gift ever.
Say 40.
Episode 40.
I agree.
Fruitcake, the worst. No, date nut cake. Is that fruitcake? Is that the
Yeah,
same?
same thing.
That's,
Come to the
if somebody's
crib,
giving
yo.
you that, that's some bullshit.
Drink
At
some
Christmas,
Podios.
Wait, how do you feel about
Date nut.
chess pie?
I like it.
Okay.
Delicious.
I kind
It's
of feel
kind of
the
like
same
pecan
way.
pie without the pecans.
It's
It's just
exactly
like,
what it is.
It's like the base
It's Caro
pie
syrup
without, without like it's the base pie without anything else in it.
It's all right. It's good.
So
It's good stuff.
Some
All
people
good
would
things.
say
Okay.
it's the pie.
Some
okay.
people say.
Like my dad.
Here's
The
a
pie.
question. Here's a question for you.
All right. There's an answer.
What do you think is more popular for birthdays, a pie or a cake? Now,
This is a trick question.
granted, more popular being what are people going to go back for seconds? Eat more of
Pie.
pie,
For sure. But
everybody thinks of birthday cake.
now here's the thing, though, is you're asking a question that's not clearly defined, because when you say what's better for a birthday,
That's a good point.
what makes something better or worse for a birthday? Because cake is clearly the traditional. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the winner. That's like the home team advantage in that debate right there. It goes to cake.
Yeah, but what about cheesecake? Is it not a pie?
Oh, see, that was
Here's
literally gonna ask
where the
that.
water
Damn,
gets
bro.
murky, man. Is because it's like you
Is
know,
cheesecake a pie?
what? It's like
Because
you
it's not
drive
cake.
you drive in the parkway and park in the driveway.
I do.
Jeez, does the Pope shit in the woods?
Yes, he does. I've seen him.
If you buy the Pope, you mean
Hold on.
We had
Oh.
a pope that quit. You're not even allowed to do that.
quit?
I like that
Uh-oh.
phone case. It's nice.
He's getting a.
I was gonna answer it and see what was up, but they
What's
hung
up?
Oh,
I don't know. I
Potential
figure
spam.
I'm pretty sure it was something about my extended warranty and my.
Yes, we've been trying to reach you about your extended
Yeah.
auto warranty, sir. Seems yours,
Dude,
yours
we
has been
go.
out.
We haven't even made the damn thing public yet. We already got a question. I see spectator badges will be available July 1st. Is there any plans for a VIP pass that allows the lead card? Thanks, Chris. when
Okay.
will the check-in? What did you say?
It was what the way you said it, man.
Why
I was
you
about to
asking
say
all the
something. I'm
questions?
like, I can't even say it.
Oh, okay.
Hey guys, $1,000 to
When will
me.
the check-in times be available? Because I work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and I need to see if I need to request a day off to also check. You're playing a tournament, man. You want to
Okay.
be there or not?
Do we want to?
Can we ask a question without a reason?
Yeah, do we want to go down this road of craziest questions you've heard?
Yeah. Why
Last year, MCO, a guy was like, "Yeah, my second round, I need tea time at 9 a.m. because I got an interview in the afternoon. I'm just trying to figure out, do I need to go to the interview or play the MCO?" And it's like in rec, and I'm like, I don't know. Do you need to play a rec disc golf tournament or you need a job?
Which would you like to choose, sir?
The other one was, I need the earliest tea time Sunday morning, which we did like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The earliest tea time Sunday morning because I need to get to Titans game on time. And I said, in my mind, just play terribly the first 2 days and you'll be in the earliest tea time possible. But I didn't put that on.
Yeah, you know,
Do real bad. Real bad.
that's the
in
worst
the
part about
ditch.
shooting good is I like to tee off in the mornings.
Yeah.
And then I shoot good and I'm like, dang it. What am I going to do into my tee time? I guess I'll go caddy.
disc golf, good disc golfer problems.
Yeah,
That's
so
a good way to handle that, though, is just go caddy.
Man, I like to walk the course before I play.
It's a good way to
I
do
don't
it.
know. It just gets me mentally ready, see how the course is being played.
yeah, and walking around it, I mean, like, that's the one thing. practicing, of course, getting a practice round in only does you so much good because that round is only going to take you to so many spots on that course. You know what I mean? Each hole, you're going to land in one spot off the tee pad. You're going to throw from there to one other spot. There's a whole bunch of other spots that you're not seeing that you could just as easily land in. I mean, and just 5 feet away from the spot you're familiar with could be a whole new world. A whole new world.
Da, 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 da.
Welcome to episode 40 of Last Cash. I'm Will.
I'm Jay in this whole new world.
And my name's Stone.
That's Stone.
I'm Dr. Hoy. And
Dr. Hoy,
I'm
he's
listening.
He's listening. And that's Stone Smith, finally on the Last Cash.
Golf snaps.
If we seem
in the house.
if we seem underwhelmed, it's because we just recorded for an hour and she gone.
So again,
She gone, got him.
as our
The pineapple
our
light
beginning
shorted
was,
out the computer.
This is
I said I was gonna wire it in. We were gonna have a fire. What's up, Jay?
Pew, 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 pew.
it's just a tribute. It's a tribute to the
Yeah.
what was the best podcast ever.
Right.
I predict this is going to be better.
It's
because
already
we're a little looser.
It feels a little. It feels
Loosey.
a little more.
Loosey-goosey.
I'm slizzing on that goose.
Stone's already had half the green apple whiskey.
No.
No, that's
No,
not
no,
a half. That's
You shut your mouth.
and I would not.
He
be
doesn't
on
have
the-
to play tonight.
I would
Yeah.
not be on the verge.
No,
of
I played
calling
2
this
rounds
whiskey.
Oh, you did? Yeah. How'd it go?
Relearning the discs again.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, everything's just like, I kind of started throwing a little bit lighter stuff out there, and I don't know.
oh, where was out there? Where were you this past week?
Yeah. You just came back from somewhere, did you not?
yeah,
Real special.
This is a little tiny road trip. No big deal.
I flew into Salt Lake and played the World Championships in Ogden.
Just on purpose or on
Yeah.
accident?
I mean,
I just followed my
Randomly
feet.
showed up.
I mean, the story behind seeing my
You didn't
name
just
on the
play. You
list of
competed,
invites
man. You
was like
competed.
that.
Okay.
I mean, I was just looking through. I was like, who do I know on here? And then my name was like right there at the bottom. I
You
was like,
competed, man.
I might need to go.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I told Andrew Pritchett, I was like, man, I don't think I'm going to get to go this year. And he's like, oh, yeah, you will. He's like, you're going. He was
Yeah.
like, once it gets known that your name was on the list, he was like, I don't care what it takes, you're going. And
No, that's
I was like, well, if I'm going, you're going. And then he actually wasn't able to go, but
yeah.
he helped me out with my trip.
Nice,
That's awesome.
Man. That's awesome, man. That's
Golf snap stander.
dude. We had people on Wednesday at Wednesday night tags, and we were talking about Stone, and they're like, "Yeah, I just saw he birdied a hole." Like, I mean, we were watching that live scoring live. You know, the U-disc throw in bounds. You know, shot one in bounds, and then he's like, "Oh, look, he had a circle 2 putt." Like, we were watching that.
I hit some great putts out
We
there.
were watching
that's
it,
for
man.
sure.
That was cool. That was cool. It's always cool to follow.
Worth mentioning. You made the A pool after the first round, and you carded with Nico and Colton Montgomery and second round.
2 rounds.
after the
2 rounds.
after the second round. So, man, what was that like?
Man, I never really considered myself a pro, you know, but I think making that A pool definitely gave me some confidence, showing me that I can actually compete. And
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
compete. I just got to keep the consistency up and do my thing.
Yeah, and that's something I think we've always, and you've been aware of it. You're a hell of a golfer, and a lot of times in the past you've had trouble putting 2 solid rounds together or 2 solid tournaments together, and staying on the leaderboard between a few events, and it's just a mental thing that comes with the territory when you're competing with the best players out there.
Oh, yeah.
And you've been kind of acclimating yourself to that whole process, but dude, I'm telling you, man, the biggest tournament in the world. You put 2 rounds together and earned a spot with 2 of the biggest names in the game.
Yeah.
That's nothing to shake a stick at. You deserve to be proud of yourself
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
for sure.
And
we're
hopefully,
all very proud
like
of you.
confidence wise, you've boosted your confidence for these next,
I just
Coming
want
back
to keep
to Nashville.
practicing and keep
Yeah.
showing up. And
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I mean, your perspective now coming back from your first trip to the World Championship. I mean, that has to just totally change the way you look at things in terms of how you play disc golf. What do you think? If you could name one lesson that you carried away from the World Championships that's going to affect the way you play disc golf in the future, what would you say it is?
Maybe be a little less aggressive on some holes. I mean, there was a couple holes that I kind of played smartly aggressive, I would say. I mean, but I definitely think I should be a little less aggressive. I mean, maybe not on the putts because that's something that I really trust is my button.
Yeah.
But a lot of shots I was trying to get as close as I could to the basket, and when you barely trickle OB, it'll cost you. It'll cost you big time on
So
a
you think
course
that
like
carries over to small, like not necessarily smaller events, but just maybe not the World Championship events? Would you carry that same mindset into every event?
Oh, yeah.
C-tier
Oh, yeah.
and above?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you think that's really what has the most to do with what happened after the second round? Like, kind of you had some OB trouble and things like that. Just
Yeah,
maybe
I mean-
attacking the green a little too soon.
Yeah, I felt
and-
like I was throwing some great shots, trying to play safe, like play way wider than I normally would with maybe a faster disc to trying to get that ground play to even get close to the basket and have no chance of going OB. And some of them got a little away from me and skipped into the water, but
I mean, dude, you were not alone in that
oh yeah.
boat because I mean,
were not
you
alone.
were not alone.
Jay was like, "Is Hoy gonna?" Oh,
I need more courses like that
anytime.
around.
Yeah, I mean that's the talk. You had a lot of fast greens, like real short, dry ground. So you a lot of ground action off the disc coming in, and a lot then rocks. And
It's just my lack of knowledge on a ball golf course, should
Yeah.
I say. So maybe I need to go out to Nashboro and just keep playing there for a while. And
Is that what
kinda-
kind of roughly what the green?
Go
what the
challenge.
golf course
I mean,
is
when
like?
you put my game is pretty much I like to play courses that are very densely wooded. I like to shape shots and hit lines and pay attention to those kind of greens if it comes into a slope or whatever. But when it comes to ball golf courses, it's definitely something I need to start playing more and get more knowledge in.
Yeah.
What factor of that the because ball golf brings up so many different challenges. I mean, like, you're not aiming at a tree particularly; you're aiming at a space,
Yeah.
or the wind is a lot more prevalent, or the ground play in a certain aspect is a lot heavier, or a lot slower, or a lot faster in some aspects. So, in those aspects, what do you think are some of those things that you're talking about?
I mean, pretty much just I say I need a little bit more distance in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, I'm okay with my distance. I can kind of reach any par 4 and par 5 for a birdie. But I mean, I would definitely like to be able to commit off of the tee and get some big distance to make my upshot just that much more gravy, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the distance and the aspect.
Yeah, because I would throw and I'd probably be 50 foot behind these boys, and I mean then I would have to throw a faster disc into the green.
Sure.
And that's
Yeah.
when I want to play way wide and I get that little extra trickle into the water, it kind of messes up to where I could be throwing a putter into the green and not even get that kind of.
kind of sounds like we're zeroing in on like not having up to this point having to really control your landing, you know, because you're in the woods, you've got trees all surrounding the baskets and roots and railroad ties and all that stuff in the woods, and then out here you just have real short grass.
Yeah.
And then water everywhere and sand. So I mean, but that's another thing, you know, people, especially people that throw sidearm predominantly, like Telly talks a lot about controlling the way your disc hits the ground.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. On any kind of ball golf course, that's definitely what you need to focus on is how your disc is going to finish after the shot has already been thrown and hitting the ground.
Yeah.
And I felt like Conrad, I mean, obviously he won it, but Nate Sexton round 4 or in round 3 on Mulligan's, his forehands, he was parking like in between the bunkers on like, I mean, he was throwing some 400-foot forehands as well, but he was landing it to where if he needed the big skip, he got the big flare skip. If he needed it to dive and dig, and it was just stopping right there, and he was hitting like.
Well, you
I
notice
was
that
impressed with that landing.
the control is unreal
And Emerson
with
Keith,
those
too.
guys.
Like both those guys were.
Which is kind of one of those things that I thought was, if you watch the all the way through the end and you watch the extra playoff hole, Macbeth's shot was not bad. It didn't feel like it,
Right.
and I felt like it had the angle to stick. It just didn't. It hit a harder part of ground maybe than
And just
the
a
air-
little
other
more-
You
area.
do not see a lot of ground play on that island.
And
I
so
mean, there was maybe one shot in my practice round that kind of rolled to the out of bounds line, but didn't get out of bounds. But usually, if you throw a forehand into that green, it just kind of plopples and sits.
Yeah.
those are just an unfortunate.
I feel like I don't know, maybe his kind of energy, he should have just stuck with the zone and just.
What did he
kinda-
throw there? The Raptor?
I believe
I'm not exactly sure.
it
but
actually has it on Showmez, which was one of their features at the
Yeah.
top.
Oh, dude.
I
yeah,
just,
the top view, the up down.
And I saw a lot of
that was
people
all the
flicking
rage
zones
over the
on that
week.
hole, and when that zone hits the ground, it's staying on
Yeah.
that green.
Yeah.
You know? And he went with a faster disc, and I guess the faster disc can
When
get
the
away from
backhand
you.
putter
It happened
hits-
to me a lot out there.
When the backhand putter hits the ground too, it sticks.
Well, that was like you were saying. He was the only one
Or
throwing
it just
that
goes in
line.
the basket.
yeah.
You never know.
It's kind of like English in pool.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Ezra, did you see the round before that? It hit in the basket on 16, bounces
The
out,
look on
and
his
then
face.
rolls
OB.
out of bounds, and it's just he had that visor gang. Yeah, dude, round
Oh, yeah, he was
4,
visored up.
it hits in hole 16's basket, bounces out, and then rolls OB.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
Hands up and just
that
like,
was
I'm
that
done.
kind of
Yeah.
seemed like my mulligans around. It was just like
yeah, it's just like
everything
Are you
feels
serious?
great, shot looks great, goes right to the basket, and then stands back up and starts rolling. And I'm like, you
Yeah.
have got to stop.
Dude, it seemed like that was a pretty common affliction over the week. I mean, not just
yeah.
on the greens and going OB, but the baskets, dude.
The
I mean,
baskets, man. The
even
chain.
like Emerson Keith, dude,
Emerson.
those Latitude 64 baskets
Yeah.
made that Latitude 64 player look
Not happy.
like a novice, man. It was like it was like
Sony that like went in
beautiful
and then
putt.
just swung out.
It reminded me, and it's funny. It was on Latitude 64 pro baskets when this happened at GBO in 2018 when I played at Jones West. They had pro baskets out there, and all of my putts were dead in the center, nose down like they're supposed to be, and they'd go straight down in the cage and not even rattle around and bounce out another. It was like they would go down in, nose in, and then come right back out like you hit like a rewind, like instant replay, right back out the way
Gatekeeper
they came in.
rewind.
Yeah, it was.
Well, if you notice on the disc catchers how low the ring is all the way down to the bottom of the basket, and then you see like the orange baskets at Seven Oaks, and the ring is way up high, that big ring. And you see a lot of them go down into that ring and push them out.
Oh yeah,
feel
well,
like
I
that
remember.
could
I
be the issue.
realized what was going on during my round at GBO, and it was
Yeah.
that first run of those pro baskets that ended up getting recalled for something totally different.
Oh.
In the very center of the cage, all the wires in the cage like dipped down at the very center to meet the pole. So there was like a space around the center of the cage, like that deep all the way around between the pole and the actual wires of the cage. Yeah. So it was like the nose of the disc would go down in there and just barely kind of do like that and send it right back out. It would like vibrate just enough to go.
Well, and that particular first run, if it did stay in the cage,
Shout out, Lee Lord.
it had a potential of just falling right through.
Right. Yeah, that was the reason they got recalled, is because they had all the wires like turned a few degrees to make like slanted, angular looking pattern in the cage, but they were just wide enough for if you held it. If a disc came down just the right way, it would go straight through.
it.
I've definitely hit a putt at Sanders Ferry that it landed on the top of 15 and just trickles through the top into
Yeah.
the basket.
That basket might have been rusted a little.
It might be missing some material.
Yeah.
To be
Speaking
fair.
of though, those
be
guys will be replaced here in the next, I would say, month at most.
Been talking
depending
about it.
on. Well,
I've already got 3 of the
so
practice baskets.
I'm not putting anybody on blast here, but when you're working with outside entities, when you're doing things, I'll describe the email that I got. I had a question. I had an email back from Thomas over at Innova. It's like, I need the answer to these questions to give you a quote. You know, it's shipping. You have a cargo dock? Do you have a forklift? Can you because apparently it makes a difference.
Yeah, it saves money.
I send over this email to the people that we're talking about. The response I get is, "We have access to a forklift. I'll email you tomorrow with the shipping address." Well, what? What? This is the place that you work, and you're emailing me tomorrow. So, I wait a weekend, emailing him. Hey man, can I get that information I was needing? I'll email you when I get back to the shop with that shipping address. This morning,
Sounds like they don't want you shipping.
I got an
anything there,
email
Jay.
from him. He's like, "Here's the email to the shop." And I'm like, "Oh, great.
Yeah.
This is the week." So
Meanwhile, I'm
sometimes-
yelling at Jay. Hey, why haven't this order been
like, I
placed?
got- yeah, I'm like, this.
Come on,
This
Jay.
is what
get
I'm
your
dealing
shit
with
together.
here. But so sometimes, I say a
I
month,
just listen to that
and
Benny
that's what
Hill
we're
music in
hoping
the
for.
background.
Yeah.
I just hear that one.
Well, and the combination of that and people being out of the office for just long periods of time
Oh yeah.
it's been kind of crucial.
COVID. Blame it on the pandemic.
Well, we had a medical thing that relates to that is telehealth. People are getting a little too loose on the telehealth
Are they?
consultations. laying in the bed, telehealth, driving somewhere, like driving to Starbucks, having to stop. Hold on just a second. Let me order some coffee. And then restart and I'm just like, okay.
Wow.
And then people almost backing into somebody at Costco parking lot.
Nice.
So it's just,
That
it's
wasn't
one of
me,
those
by the way.
things
Are
where
you sure?
I'm
No.
positive.
it's one of those things where with technology, it's different.
Sure.
Like you're sitting at your house, it's just a little bit, the same thing with meetings. I mean, there's been a lot of examples of people in Zoom meetings doing things they shouldn't have been doing in a meeting.
kids running through.
I mean, some really weird and some
Some
just
not so much.
like,
Well, think
Yeah.
about it like the podcast, dude. I mean, like, how
Yeah.
much better is it to have somebody in the studio
Yeah,
sitting with us here?
exactly.
And we can look at
So
your
we're-
face and talk to you
we're
without
like,
a lag.
because now that COVID restrictions, we're going back to pretty much all in person because it's different. If you're just on a Zoom call, you're like, it doesn't really matter. And then
Or
if you
you're
have your
asleep.
screen muted, they don't see your video. Then you're really like, I'm vacuuming the house. I'm walking around, listening.
I'm
but
not even there.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, we need you. Hey,
Yeah.
hey. Oh, hey, were you talking to me?
It's like the airport. You ever feel like you see all these like Pan Am flight 1950s? Everybody's got a suit on, walking
Yeah.
the airplane, and now it's like pajamas because you have to take all your shoes off and
I have to
everything in the
put my
airport.
cigarette
They're not
out.
even like everybody's just going in pajamas and slippers. Like
yeah,
Well, it's funny because
'Cause-
I've been in the job market.
I'm not
recently.
wearing pants right now.
Hey.
a little breezy.
Stay on that side of the
But
table.
being
Little
in, the,
headwind.
being in the job market for somebody who wants to work, it's a great place to be because I've had wonderful offers and a lot of them. But what
To take
the
your pants
funny-
off?
Well, that
Slap
costs a
happy.
little extra.
Yeah.
But the one thing I've gotten from a lot of these people that I've gone and interviewed with or gone and had interactions with is that they have people who, oh yeah, I want to work, and then when it comes to an interview or actually showing up day one, they just ghost. And a lot of people
Ghost
thinking
ride
that
the whip.
it comes from the disability, from everybody getting extra and then just not wanting to work because all they have
Yeah.
to do is show that they've been trying. And a lot of employers have been struggling with it. I literally, before they shut my last employer's company down after 3.5 weeks,
Yeah.
that was fun.
You get a job 3.5
I get a-
weeks.
yeah, I got a-
Hey,
This
we're-
guy, if he
I'm
didn't
the
have bad luck, he'd have no luck.
First full-time employee, and 3.5 weeks later, they shut the company down. So don't hire me, guys, because
Bad luck.
Bad luck. Yeah, it's a trap. But that company itself, the first 3 days I was there, I went to lunch. You get an hour lunch. I came back after an hour. They're like, "Oh, we're so glad you showed back up." And I was like, "What?"
You have a lot of people that leave for a pack of smokes and never
Yeah.
come back.
Never
huh?
show back up. And I was like, "Y'all have this problem because y'all have asked me this for the past 3 days. like I've been showing up, and y'all are just like, we're glad you're here."
Yeah. We're glad you came back.
But apparently, that's been the issue out there nowadays. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, high turnover rate. I mean, that's the thing, man. COVID gave a whole lot of people that aren't inclined to do any work an excuse not to do any work.
To do even less.
They got-
And now, apparently, in a lot of states, there's like incentives to quit, working. Like you can get incentives from the government if you lose your job. So you got a bunch of slacking dudes just like out there, like, let me run out and get this job real quick so I can
Well, it's
quit
funny
and get my $1,500.
Well, how many people are offering signing bonuses?
now watch me quit.
got-
Watch me.
they
Yeah,
got-
watch me quit.
They got restaurants
watch me,
hiring
watch
front. yeah, restaurants hiring frontline guys $500 sign-on bonuses.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, if it's that bad when you're offering sign-on bonuses to go to a what you would consider just a normal hourly job, like that's something.
Yeah, the company
right
I
there.
work for, they said all employees that kind of work from home, there's a lot of administrative staff, have to be back in the office full time on August 1st. And half the people were like, I'll just quit. I'll find another job. I like working from home. And so then they're like, okay, you guys can still work from home. Like, because the productivity was still there.
It's just the
It was
overhead's
just
not-
like people like their own schedules and like doing their own.
and like you
thing.
said, if the productivity is still there, what's
cheaper.
Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
harm? Yeah, we've gotten off topic, but back to worlds.
Yeah.
I know I can say, based on if you didn't watch any of the coverage, and by the way, hashtag
Get
fuck
alive.
your spoilers.
There are no spoilers.
We talked a little bit about that in the last episode from last night. But yeah, so go back and watch my rant from 39 on the spoiler thing. But I know that you, just even the last round, the shot heard around the world, biggest gallery, biggest crowd I've ever seen at a disc golf tournament. Obviously, they all went absolutely buck wild when James hit that shot.
Largest world's payout too.
But you mentioned that you got so aggravated trying to find a good place to stand where you could actually see what was going on that you ended up leaving the course and going somewhere else to play.
Sure did.
And so, I mean, it's interesting to me how quickly we went from all of these crazy, strict protocols in the state of a pandemic to what pandemic? Like, I saw it firsthand at DDO. I mean, it was like the mask mandate in Lyon County, Kansas got lifted 3 days before the event. And it was like everybody walked outside and just shook all their masks out of a box into the wind and watched them fly away. I mean, and I know that there were some things that happened there that were kind of indicative of people's relief or urgency to get out and be free and like, you know, I don't know. I'm hoping that we don't see any negative consequences
Resurgences.
of this sudden just free for all.
Well, the one thing I'm seeing now is vaccinated guests are free or to not wear masks. You know, they're kind of relying upon everybody's honor system.
Yeah.
And let's be real here. This is the world. That ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
I know you caddied a lot of the time when you weren't playing. Well, not caddied, but you walked with Sarah quite a bit. And shout out to Sarah Sinclair and Sean Sinclair. Also homies. And Kevin Rarick.
Kevin Rarick out there.
Other
battling.
locals that were out there at Worlds. But what did you think of the spectator situation? Did it seem like it was pretty well controlled, or was it kind of a free for all?
It was definitely well controlled. They had a lot of people actually controlling that crowd, believe it or not. There was a lot of volunteers out there forcing people like, hey, get back, get behind this log, do this, do that. I mean, they were pretty on top of it. For the amount of people that were out there, they did a great job.
Did you see any masks?
Very rarely.
Yeah.
I saw one mask. It was like the Jomez camera guy.
Yeah.
He had that like neck gaiter.
Okay.
What a
I mean,
weird
honestly,
time.
a mask out there should be kind of be hard. It'd be pretty hard to breathe.
Oh yeah. I mean, it
worse
always
down
has been.
here in Nashville.
Yeah.
I'm just, and I'm not
Did
saying
Nashville downtown ever really shut down?
No Maskville.
Sure. On paper, it did.
Yeah, on paper.
I mean, I'm just curious. I'm not meaning to say what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, but you know, I can say that our strategy for Music City Open remains. Yeah, we're gonna have the primary plan A be let everybody go nuts and follow groups and all that stuff at Mill Ridge, of course. So I guess this is a good time to talk about it because we've been getting a lot of questions about
Spectator badges.
spectating
When will they
at
be
Music City
ready?
Open. In fact,
Check in.
So over the last few days, obviously, because we wouldn't be talking about spectators at MCO for the last few months. I mean,
No.
why would we think about that?
Nope.
In
Never heard about
in
them.
a world, but the
In a world of disc golf,
Sunday.
a spectator falls in the swamp but pulls a disc out.
He floats away on his VIP spectator badge.
This is the raft. It costs
all you'll
$5,000. You're in the middle of the pond. But
We'll
wait, you're
sell
part
you
of the
the-
action. Come on down.
You got 5,000. You can have it.
Demolition
I'll
Derby.
buy you the blow up canoe myself.
We got groundhogs, deer, squirrels, foxes, and bats. If you stay up late enough, skunks and bats.
pangolins, pangolins and bats.
We cannot confirm the penguins.
Yeah.
Okay, but no,
Pangolins.
yeah. So me and Dr. Hoy over the last few days have been talking about getting everybody signing up for spectator badges. And we start building a page to go over it, make sure everything's legit, and then open it up at a designated time, which July 1st makes a lot of sense.
Not open yet?
We have not made any posts. We have not... Literally, there has been 2 text messages exchanged between Dr. Hoy
Yeah.
and myself regarding
Exactly.
this spectator badge presale since it was created. Boom! I see spectator badges will be available July 1st. Is there any plans for a VIP pass that follows the lead card?
There
Thanks,
is now.
Chris.
Yeah.
There is now.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
That is the best. Stone says hi, Chris.
Shit.
First of all, thank you, Chris, for your interest in spectating at
Yes.
the Music City Open. We are excited to have you and everybody else come check it
Yeah.
out. So here's how it's going to work, you guys. Yes, on July 1st, Disc Golf Scene will have a spectator badge pre-sale.
8 a.m.
Best
8 a.m.
educated guess on time, though.
8 a.m.
Yeah, that's
Central,
it.
Central Time.
We'll get there, Stone. Give me just a minute. Let it
Yeah.
breathe for a second. So, the way this is going to work, guys, for anybody out there that has played Cedar Hill, you already know. If not, you can go watch coverage of last year's Music City Open and get an idea for yourself. But Cedar Hill is a heavily wooded course, and you do not be following the groups.
No.
Not even with your rucksack.
We gone.
My name is Kabjörgen Fjörgen from the Kabjörgen Fjords.
You're not welcome.
You're not welcome. All right, so yes, it will be hard to have any.
Just cut that, Will.
Yeah.
I'll edit that out.
It will be very hard.
It'll be very hard to have the groups walking behind the groups. No
Safety.
All right, bring it in.
Harness.
So here's the plan, guys. Spectator pass will cost you $20. That $20 is going to get you a badge that is good for the entire duration of the event. So if you know anything, maybe you know that first 2 days of the NT are going to be at Cedar Hill. Second 2 days are going to be at Mill Ridge. So at Cedar Hill, we will not be allowing spectators to follow groups around the course. It's oh my God! It's
But my favorite player is playing this tournament.
How
Well, good
dare
for
you
you.
charge me $20 for a spectator pass? I can't even.
Would you like to be
sorry.
charged for parking too?
Nope.
Taxing.
Fix your hood.
Yeah.
Oh, my sleeve, my sheath is coming
Yeah.
off.
Just the tip. With Marcus Rogers. Shout out to Marcus who had to dip out.
I love your mic, Marcus.
Yeah, work is more important than podcasting to some people, I guess.
Cheddar.
Shut up, baby.
So, anyway, yes, but we will have a bunch of designated spectator areas at Cedar Hill that will allow you to catch the groups coming through, and you can kind of move between them. There will be one on 8 and 10 and 17 and 4, a bunch of different places around the course where you will be able to walk around and move from pod to pod and catch the groups as they come through.
Pod to pod.
Pod to pod.
I like that.
Yeah.
Play on words. I saw what you did there.
So,
Sponsor. Looking for sponsors for those pods.
Hey,
Last Cash
you want to
pod.
sponsor a pod?
how about a pod?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but then, okay, so after first 2 days at Cedar Hill, we're going to move on to the day 3 competition at Mill Ridge, and then there will be a cut for the top 40% plus ties, and then a final round at Mill Ridge. So the final 2 days at Mill Ridge, this is our intended plan. Our primary plan A is go. We need bobbleheads so bad. It would be so funny to do
would
the
be
podcast
awesome.
and just have cameras
Yeah.
on the bobbleheads while we and then like switch
Like a
the
tiny
camera.
desk on.
When somebody talks, you just tap their head.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, you'll be able to.
We have a creative
I can't
project.
I can't look at Dr. Hoy. So yes, you will be able to follow groups at Mill Ridge. We will have crowd control in place, keeping everybody at a reasonable distance and keeping people from distracting the groups. But the plan is to basically, within reason, let you guys move about how you please at Mill Ridge. Now, we are putting a plan B in place just in case some new variant or outbreak or some kind of crazy crap happens. And so we will have designated spectator areas. Now, the plan is, if this all comes about how I envision in my head, these areas will be marked ahead of time, and they will be there, and they might just prove useful to those of you that are not interested in walking around the course following one group. Maybe you want to see a broader scope of the action, or maybe you're just not interested in walking around and you want to sit down on a camping chair or something like that. So we are going to have even more spectator areas at Mill Ridge with more visibility of more holes. So you'll have some options about how you want to spectate, and you don't have to buy a VIP pass. You don't have to buy a tiered level of spectator access. Your $20 pass is going to get you wherever you want to be until a staff or volunteer stops you and says, "Hey, man,
You can't be here.
what are you doing?
Too far.
Well, you
$20
Too
for
far.
all 4 days.
You ain't about that
Gets
life?
all in.
Not a bad deal.
Get behind the log.
Think about that.
Yeah,
That's $5 a day.
yeah.
So that yes, on
Less
July
than the
1st.
cost of a
That
large
helps
coffee.
us to help you.
Yeah,
That
we're not
helps-
limiting
yeah.
them, so you don't have to hurry and buy all of them in 5 minutes because we're not limiting it. You guys,
We
are
have
gonna-
limits on the DG Scene page, but we're gonna up those as we
Yeah.
get to the. It's just we had to start somewhere.
Well,
Yeah,
you might
so-
find yourself with a small discount at maybe the MCDG Pro Shop as well if you buy that pass.
Or
Or you could talk to the TD before you start advertising stuff on podcasts.
Well, MCDG, we've already got the
hey,
the
also
promotional period.
also something that we are gonna need is volunteers. At
Yeah.
in the same turn, we need spectators. We need volunteers. Somebody's gonna have to walk with every group and
That's
keep
front row
score
action.
for UDisc.
Yeah. And I think we're probably going to end up having some kind of we'll probably do, I'm thinking a raffle of some kind, well, air quotes raffle.
We're also looking for deaf mutes to be in that position.
You're going to get us canceled, Jay. Again. But no, so the idea here is that, among our volunteer pool, we might do some sort of a raffle, like give all the volunteers a raffle ticket, and then we'll draw tickets for key positions such as carrying a leaderboard or assisting with the media team or, key
The quiet paddle.
the quiet battle, key volunteer positions that get you a little bit closer up into the mix. So those kind of things are probably going to be an option. So if you guys are, if you end up not being able to get into the event and you're not playing it, but you want to be a part of it, you want to come and check it out, then volunteering is your next best bet because we're going to need at least 100 volunteers for the course of the event between the A tier and the NT. So
Who can they contact?
they can contact info@musiccitydiscgolf.com for now. Those emails will eventually be getting forwarded on to our volunteer coordinators. We're like NASA. We double down on everything. So we've got 2 volunteer coordinators reporting to Jay
Boom.
Skinner. Shout out to Justin
Oh.
Morris and Erica Bergstrom.
Jay Skinner, let's put his cell phone number out there.
615-10.
So yes, spectating coming soon, and also whole sponsorships will be available soon as well. And vendors will be able to purchase their slots. So we will have 2 opportunities for you vendors to get a piece of the action. That's going to be one at the Fly Party on Saturday night, which will also be a host to the award ceremony for the A tier. So after Saturday night, all the players in the A tier side of the event will be done and free to spectate on the final day at Mill Ridge and be there for the NT Awards ceremony, which is not only going to be the awards ceremony for the National Tour finale, it's also going to be the awards ceremony for the National Tour Series. So we're going to do
have
it
a
up
big
big.
stage.
We're going to
Double
have
down.
we're
Big
getting the
stage.
stage. We're going to have music, live music, lots of vendors. So stay tuned for more information on that. But yeah, as far as spectating, $20 gets you access for the whole event.
Dude, it'd be cool if we got Hootie.
That's a
and the
deal you
Blowfish.
cannot pass up.
Hootie and the Blowfish. Darius Rucker.
Hootie's coming?
Anybody know Hootie?
I don't. I know the Blowfish,
Come on,
but
Nashville.
not Hootie.
Somebody that plays disc golf knows Hootie.
There will be.
Darius Rucker.
We're not going to
Hey,
have a hard
I'm just-
time.
I'm just going to throw this out here.
music.
Scott
Just
Stapp
throw a
lives in
rock
Franklin,
and hit
Tennessee,
somebody.
if anybody's
That
interested.
Chris Harris.
Whole-
Hey, Ashley McBride headlining.
Will may kill me, but
Come on, Chris.
I'm working an angle. I'm working an angle.
Scott Stapp.
No.
Hey,
Flat
I'd like
no.
to see him.
I will let William Rick lead a 5-piece band as the headliner for the awards ceremony before I will have Scott Stapp at our tournament. Jay.
Ooh, Rusted Root would be good. Nobody likes Creed, it's fine. He said woo-saw, so he didn't backhand
Yeah.
man to the wall.
Yeah.
Like a cartoon, this dust falls and there's just a hole in the wall.
No, the hype is building for MCO. Stone, you playing?
I would like to sign up, but I'm pretty sure it's too far on the waiting list. Yeah, I pretty much. I
was a
used
setup.
what money I had for Worlds. So
Gotti!
there was no signing up and going.
Hey,
to
you
Worlds.
guys, this guy just earned his way onto a card with Nico LaCastro and Colton Montgomery at the World Championships.
Yeah.
Can a brother get a sponsor
Or a
Yeah.
golf
for the
snap?
Music City Open?
I do have a sponsor actually.
Ooh, shout them out.
Have they
Oh.
paid for your entry fee to Music City Open's wait list yet?
Thursday.
Thursday
Thursday is the day.
Okay.
That will make
July
you
1st.
Your boss is
17?
sponsoring
Oh,
your
July
entry.
1st.
No, but I actually told him, I was like,
Self-sponsored.
man, you should probably sponsor a couple events or sponsor some holes or something. And if you want to, if he wants to put signs around in yards, he can at least put some signs.
I was
up at
gonna
some
ask
tee
that.
pads, you
Yeah,
know.
there you go.
We've gotten
Assumptions.
7 to 10 emails a day for the past 4 days.
When will the check-in times be available? Because I work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and I need to see if I need to request a day off also
You do?
to check in.
You work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday?
Just
Who
quit
would
your
have
job.
thought?
Just quit. Play disc golf.
Go on tour, bro.
Hey, listen to Snow and quit and play disc golf, bro. You're working the wrong industry.
And then when you
That
get
didn't work out,
decent
you always
enough,
get
get that job
professional
back
fishing.
and travel.
Just wait for Masters when you get
Yeah.
that. When you get up to 3 weeks paid vacation. You
Yeah.
just
Oh
take-
yeah.
that's the,
I can
that's
play
the
so many
ticket
tournaments
right
now.
there. So I mean, compared to other events, because I mean, you know, everybody holds the World Championship as the biggest stage in the game. Did it meet those expectations in your mind? Was it a big extravagant experience? Did it feel up to par with the hype?
Especially once I made it to the A pool and was able to play with the A pool players. The environment was great. I mean, in the B pool, there's still spectators, maybe not as much, and it kind of seems like any other tournament. And then when you make it to that A pool, it's like,
Whole another world.
oh yeah, for sure.
How were those tees off the cart path of the sidewalk? I saw they had a couple of those at Mulligan's.
Perfect.
Nice.
Don't pass the painted line.
Don't pass.
Yeah, that's how like. So if you turned your foot and you passed it at all, it was a foot fault, or that's a tough one because
I mean,
it's not over.
You have a supporting point still on the tee pad, though.
yeah, it's just don't start on the painted line because you probably throwing that hard. You're probably not going to finish on that painted
Gotcha.
line. You know,
Yeah.
you're probably going to be slide.
because
at
on a
least
tee
maybe
pad,
couple
your foot
inches,
could be
you know.
floating like on the
Over.
edge, but on the painted line, if your foot's over it, that was a foot fault.
Well, it's weird because you still have a hill, which could be considered a supporting point on the tee pad.
Speaking of foot faults, that was something that we were kind of talking about the other day.
Yes.
Was this
jump putt.
this age old topic of conversation?
Yeah.
Foot faults on jump putts. There was a
Oh,
few
yeah.
that you can see on the coverage, and you know we talk a little bit too. And this is another thing. You see all kinds of stuff on coverage, man. That triple Mando that was
Yeah.
like a piece of tinsel.
Yeah,
That nobody
was-
could
yeah.
tell if it was over or under,
I think it
except
was-
everybody that was watching on the internet.
round 3, Mulligan's FPO division lead card. Paige Pierce throws a drive. There's a triple Mando. The top of it's a ribbon, and it goes over it. And yeah, it's right over it. You can't tell that it hits it because it doesn't move. But then you can see the shadow in the camera. You can clearly tell it goes over it. But nobody saw it. Nobody could confirm that they missed the Mando. So she birdies the hole.
It's hot out there. People are thirsty. Tea
Well, I
party-
mean,
tea
like-
party
I
at the
mean,
tee
yeah,
pad.
but like
Yeah,
Stone
tea party
said-
at the tee pad.
And y'all didn't hear
Who
this
cares
'cause
where
it
the
was
shot's going?
obviously it was obviously in a different episode. That was
Archives.
non-existent. But Stone said from that tee pad, you should be able to tell.
Oh yeah. If you're watching the shot, you're definitely going to be able to tell if it misses that little ribbon they had at the top.
So I mean, in that situation, you kind of like it's like, hey, you missed it. You know, I mean, the advantage goes to the player, but it's kind of on you because you weren't paying attention. So it's kind of like while it may have been an obvious on the camera a mistake. If nobody's there to see
Or
it,
maybe
like
it's
we
just
were saying
not even-
earlier, does the what did you say? Does the Pope
Benefit
shit in
go
the wood?
to the does the post
Maybe
shit
it's
the
not
wood?
even
know?
being able to actually see it. It's just seeing it happen and then second guessing what you saw.
Sure.
And then not
Yeah.
being able to really say. You know?
Well, it's like
'Cause,
a
it
field
happened
goal
so
from a
quick.
long way away. If it's up
You'd
really
be like,
high,
I think it did, but I think it didn't. Like,
Now, how much of that do you think is that it was too close for them to see? Because that's a whole group of players that were in this event that are
And-
saying that none of them saw
Yeah.
whether
You
it
said
went
there was
over
no-
or
and
under.
spectators.
and you said there was
And
no
then-
spotter, right?
There was no spotter on that.
Yeah, I did not see a spot.
So there definitely should have been a spotter. I think we can go ahead and say that.
agreed.
There's,
Yeah.
It's
If there's, I think there should be a spotter.
I mean, if
Any-
I'm the
any
TV, I'm
Mando-
saying
okay.
put a spotter. If we're
Yeah.
using a ribbon for the third Mando,
Yeah.
then there should be a spotter. Because
Well, if you're
otherwise,
making a triple Mando, absolutely.
Yeah,
well, then
I
I'm
mean,
thinking of like USDGC, that triple Mando.
but that's clearly you can see that.
But they have the top of it,
Same
like
for
even
that
on hole
one.
15 at USDGC, the top of it's like
Yeah,
But they've
that's
got
what I'm
somebody
saying.
there too at USGC.
Is
If you
on
notice, there's
15,
a person right out
Okay.
on the
Yeah.
bamboo hole. There's a person right off to the right who sits on the
What about
sidewalk.
hole 15? That's a triple Mando. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know
What's
about 15, but
but
the
I'm-
one I'm talking about is the bamboo one.
But I'm thinking triple Mando if it's got that.
I mean,
It's-
like at hole 18 at the fort, the Mando right there, they had a spotter at that Mando and on the other side of the fairway
So
and at the green.
Damn.
I mean, I'm finding it interesting that there was an entire group of professionals playing the hole and nobody is watching Paige's shot.
that's
And and I mean, I'm thinking,
that's
dude,
their fault.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If it was that hard to tell from the tee pad, then yes, there should have been a spotter. If it was not that hard to tell from the tee pad, and you're saying that everybody should have been able to tell whether or not it made it, well, now we're back to that issue where people are hesitant to call rules violations, and don't react well to having rules violations called on them.
Like
And-
I've touched that ribbon with a shot and been able to tell if it went over or below it.
So that seems weird to me.
I don't know. Maybe there's just. I mean, the ribbon is not like a small ribbon. I mean, it's
Right,
more
it's
like
2
one of
feet
those
thick.
ratchet straps that are on a 18 wheeler.
Sure. But he brings up a great
pretty
point.
wide.
It comes down to either it's one of those two things, or you weren't paying attention at all.
Yeah.
Which is hopefully as a professional you're not doing. Hopefully you are paying attention. But Will's right. It comes down to how many people have you seen paying attention and they just don't call it because it brings
'cause you can
some
always-
type of issue to the card,
Yeah,
and it shouldn't.
You can always cop out and be like, I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but then that
But
rule
Will
comes
brings
into
up a
play
great
for
point.
everybody.
It does, but here's the thing: is again we say you can't use video to confirm a rules call because not everybody's on video coverage.
Sure.
So it's not fair, whatever. But then we're in this weird catch-22 because, well, why are we investing so much in all this live coverage? And because now we're creating a situation where people are watching this player, they're saying she clearly should have been able to see, and then you have all these inferences, people saying, oh, you could just tell she's got it written all over her face. She looks guilty. She looks like she looks like she knows it went over and blah, 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 blah. And then it's later in the event when she misses that putt and Katrina took the lead, then people are like, oh yeah, it's karma for letting that, for getting that lucky, you know what I mean? For taking advantage of that because, and that's the silent accusation there is that it's one of those moments where everybody has this moment where you have to decide for yourself if you're the person that's going to if everybody's looking at you you just foot faulted or you just did something you weren't supposed to do, but nobody else saw it. And then it comes down to a question of, hey, what happened there? And you have the opportunity to tell the truth or take advantage of the fact that nobody else saw. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody has that moment. And most of us, it's a given which way we're going to fall on that issue, but it's not that way for everybody. And especially when you add up pressure in a certain kind of situation, what could influence you to maybe make the wrong decision? Everybody's human. Nobody's perfect. Right. But it's a squirrely thing, man. It's like, why? Okay, look. Something's got to give. Why do we have a camera on this triple Mando so everybody at home can see for sure, up close and personal, whether or not she made the Mando, when they can't see it as well, and they're the ones that have to make the call, and then it ends up making the entire disc golf audience inflamed at one person.
And everybody, they're looking at Terry Miller. He's back there, and they're looking. He's like, I can't say anything.
Yeah,
but he's talking to the booth, and saying it clearly missed. And he's getting the replays.
We talked about the ace cam, the guy who's got to sit out there in the hot sun. Maybe if you're going to make a hole like that, maybe you put a camera on it and it stays there, so everybody's shot is filmed, and then maybe you can go to.
I don't know what the PDJ ruling on that would be, but that seems like a viable resolution.
Just a stationary camera, maybe.
Here's the thing,
That's
though.
a more expensive option than a spotter.
I know one real easy way to solve the entire problem. Instead of a triple Mando, you have a double Mando and pull that fucking ribbon down
off the top.
Or you just have one Mando.
Yeah, or one
or
Mando.
not
What
a
does the
Mando
whole
at all.
need? What does the whole need? Does it need
So
that
tell
triple
me this:
Mando?
does exactly? Did that Mando make
Because
the
Mando
hole
should only
harder,
be used if the
or did
terrain
it make it
if
easier?
the area calls for it.
It made it more difficult for how, the ribbon made it more difficult having the height. You kind of needed a nose up angle that was coming down and up to even get that far right for a tap in. Most putts were going to be bigger putts on that hole.
Okay. So in this case, it did actually affect the hole.
Oh yeah. Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Well,
Because if you
and
can make
that's a
those
rare
windows
case.
and go really high, if you can go higher, you can
Okay.
you can get more to the right or more to the left.
Sure.
you know?
Now again, you got a whole extra year to plan for this. If you're really married to that triple Mando, if that's your Alamo, you got to do it to save the quality and the integrity of the hole. You'd think you'd have time to come up with something better than a strap.
Instead of
I
2
agree.
poles, make it 3 poles.
3 poles.
Well,
Or
and a
like get
spotter.
that pole that they jump over, and when you hit it, like in high jump,
It
you know,
falls
it
off.
falls down. It's like pole
Then you
vault.
need
Breakaway.
2 spotters.
Yeah.
Put it back.
I don't know, man. I hate because I'm always like an outspoken advocate for the PDGA, and I'm always the first person to go to bat for them. And
I agree with them.
And I always say too, man, it's like as soon as something goes wrong at a world championship, everybody blames the PDGA for it. And the PDGA fields a lot of static for stuff that they had no control over. You know, I mean, that's the other thing is most of the people that play disc golf or watch disc golf have never run a tournament. They don't know how it breaks down, what the PDGA is responsible, what the event staff is responsible for. And there's some pretty clear delineation there, and then there's some things that are a little bit hazy. And then you run into these various issues. I mean, you said you felt like you were being treated in accordance with the level of a world championship event.
Oh, yeah.
So do you feel like the warm-up area that the players were given was adequate?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Before the Brody thing?
Before the world-famous Brody Smith driving range?
Well, I mean, I think the driving range was already paid for. Brody didn't know it or something like that.
What I was told is that he was offered
thickens.
to somebody offered pull that mic a little closer to your mouth. You move around however you want. But yeah, what I was told after all the hullabaloo was that there were a bunch of people that were just practicing in the players warm up area. Brody, it was kind of crowded. There was not enough nets, maybe something like that. But it's on par with the warm up area that you get at any big tournament. And Brody there was a driving range nearby for the golf course, and Brody went and asked what if they could go use that space to warm up. And they were told, no, it's part of the golf course. It's not been reserved. How much to reserve it? $1,000. He pays the $1,000, reserves it for the day, makes a post on Instagram. And I don't think that he did it to be like I don't think he meant for it to be like a look at me moment. I think he made the post to let everybody know if they wanted to, they could go over and warm up at the driving range.
Sure.
But obviously, a certain amount of his audience took it as a white knight kind of moment. Like he was like, "Oh, screw."
Well,
the
I mean, to let the people know, but I mean, he also knows what he's doing.
Well,
yeah, for sure.
I don't know if you guys saw our good friend Charlie Goodpasture. He made a post about it. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that he even was hating on the fact that he did it because he thought it was a great idea and he really appreciated it, but he had teed off early that day. And so he didn't get the added benefit of that. And that's where he felt the issue was the people that had teed off beforehand who didn't get that benefit of warming
That's
up
a
into
very, very valid point. And it's the same thing we were just talking about with you can't use video to decide a rules call. It's the same thing. It's if everybody doesn't have the video on them, then it's not fair to use it to make a call for one group and not the other.
Well, I think that's why a lot of people love Charlie. Is he's got that mindset of too. Is it's not me you're attacking. It's an overall thing, and like you said, he made up a great point. It's just not beneficial to everybody. So should that have been allowed? It's kind of his thought process.
Well, at that point, it's not a matter of should it have been allowed or not, because it was taken out of anybody's hands who would have had the authority to say whether or not it was allowed.
Sure.
It was something that Brody did of his own volition and advertised it, and then it became fodder for a movement. Wherever everybody talking about how the PDGA had dropped the ball and made an oversight and neglected their responsibilities to the players. But what other tournament? I understand it's the World Championship. You should pull out all the stops and pull out all the corks. But, man, there's enough to think about without having to run around reserving extra venues for something that you have space for, and at least up to the standard of the industry.
Well, what if you ask them, hey, would you guys like $1,000 subtracted, $600 from the MPO and $400 from FPO, and you guys can have a driving range, or would you rather just have these nets?
Right.
Like, what would they
Well,
would
and
say?
we've been fortunate, with Ravenwood, we had the nets and we had the field.
Yeah.
But when we walked into Cedar Hill, we were really, really stricken. So it was nets only.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have any issues. So it makes me wonder also at the same time, was that just an issue of convenience because it was there?
Yeah, definitely. And here's another, and this is like a lot of the things that we could talk about from Worlds this year are big teaching moments. I mean, this is the thing is when people want to criticize tournament directors for complaining about people complaining, and players think like tournament directors are cynical and jaded, and tournament directors think players are entitled and you know, ignorant and all this stuff. And it's this like almost like we're or opposed to each other in this weird magnetic way.
But are both appreciative.
Right, and we're symbiotic. We can't exist
both
without.
need each other.
Yeah, we both need each other to for this thing to exist. And here's what I'm always trying to tell people: is think before you speak, because when you might think, "Hey, the warm up area is kind of lame. I've got $1,000 burning a hole in my pocket. I'll just rent out the whole driving range. Hey, everybody, come warm up at the driving range," and you think you've done an awesome thing. Yep. But now you're not thinking about the Charlie Goodpastures that had to go play and compete in their first round without that beefed up warm-up area. That's an excellent point. You're not thinking about the tournament director, the event staff, the PDGA staff, who spent a long time and a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and money arranging every other part of this event and this experience. And now because they didn't go that one extra step of taking a little money and throwing it at the driving range, now there's a huge percentage of the work that they've done that really doesn't matter. Like, because nobody, it doesn't matter how positive the experience is outside of that, because now that's what everybody's talking about is, oh man, PDGA really should have done that. It's pretty sad that had to be Brody Smith that had to do that. And then the PDGA is like, hey, we'll pay you the $1,000, and he's like, that's okay. You know.
Well, and from what I understand, it was a group collaboration, and he just happened to be the one who made the post. Is that not correct?
I have no idea, and I don't mean to assume.
Yeah, who paid for the actual driving range? I heard it was a group effort. But
Speaking of, any sponsors want to step up for MCO driving range?
Yeah, if you want to sponsor our driving range,
Top Golf, you know, let us rent out the whole place.
Oh, hey, I like that.
$1,000.
I see where you're going there. $1,000 for all Top Golf. I'm in. I got that.
I'm just trying to think of where somebody would.
All of Top Golf for $1,000. That's the best rate you could get.
Dickerson Pike.
Is that at night with the glow?
There's a road outside of Cedar Hill that's already named for Chris Dickerson because he's won the MCO so many times. So.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why that's named Dickerson Pike.
I mean, we pretty much asserted that, but it counts.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know. I think the biggest thing is a lot of this stuff got blown way out of proportion, and then everybody's reacting to it. And then you have a reaction to the first thing, and then you've got a reaction to the reaction, and then another reaction, and then you end up with Justin Minichelli, the president of the board of directors on Frolf Center.
Center. That was, I heard,
calling Brody a jerk. What? Like,
oh man,
yeah, saying multiple times saying that it was a jerk move on Brody's part to do that. And I'm like,
what was that old song? Do me a favor, call me jerk one more time.
Man, it's hard to. It's
You're
hard.
a jerk.
You're a jerk.
You're a jerk.
You're a jerk. That's hard to watch, man. It's a bad look, and it's like the whole thing is. And then the more you react to it like that, the more it's compounded, and it's just like the bunkers and the ponds, man. Yeah, they should have been painted a week before the event, and they weren't.
Not painted at all.
Or not painted at all. But that's the thing is, if the event starts and after the first round, you've got piles of complaints about them not being painted. Well, sorry, the move is not to go paint them. The move is not to go paint them after the first round or two in the middle of the night, and then surprise everybody in the morning with new OB lines. It's allowed by the PDGA rules. You can't do it in the middle of a round. You can do it in mid-event, but it's not up to standards for, even a national tour event.
Well, I go back to what you said, Will. Think yourself and your thought process all the way through before you ask those questions. And that eliminates so much. And I cannot agree with that more, Will. Is just think about what you're going to ask.
You guys know how bad it feels to
before you do it.
You know how bad it feels to work your ass off on Music City Open and on Ravenwood. Like, we busted our asses on that course.
And you get to spend 30 minutes
for months and months and months. I never even got to play it.
Dude, we mowed rocks.
Yeah.
And then we mowed rocks.
Well,
and then the first things you hear are Michael Johansson or whoever it is. I don't even remember. I didn't, I'm not saying. I blocked it out.
I remember.
I'm just saying the people that you look up to people that you look up to coming back from this course that you've toiled on for months, and they're just tearing it apart and basically saying it's ignorant, it's stupid, it's a boneheaded, but it's crazy, blah blah blah, it's worthless. I mean,
I don't care how
at that point, it's really hard to not just go
yeah.
like, well, I guess I'm just gonna quit, go home. Like,
Yeah.
like I work. You know what I mean? It's really
Yeah.
hard to work
It's a
that hard
slap
on
in the
something.
face. It's like you could be the most detached person from the tournament and be involved, and it's still going to upset you and offend you in some way. And you both know me. I'm not a person who gets offended because I enjoy offensive stuff. And I sat there, and it was like, that's kind of like, damn, dude, just smack me in the face for doing all this work
Yeah.
for you. So I completely
But
understand.
it kind of makes me feel like disc golf is back. We had spectators. We got controversy.
Yep.
It's
It does kind
it's
of make you
crazy.
feel like that.
And-
It's on Sports Center. It's
And
people
the way
are
it ended.
talking. Yeah, the way it ended.
Oh,
Like,
baby.
I made that
It's
comment on one of
history.
the posts. Is like, I think it's because it was all about like how awesome is this, and like
Yeah.
somebody brought up how negative the drama on social media was, and I was like, it's like really divinely ironic that that's how
Yeah.
it ended after everybody talking all that shit for the whole week. But-
We needed you there being like, Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
We'll sell you the whole seat, but you
Yes.
only need the edge.
So, again, if you haven't seen that, you need to get out from under the rock you're living in
Yeah.
and get on that.
oh, but don't spoil it for anybody.
I'm not spoiling nothing.
Stone, how do you feel about spoilers? Do you think it's a thing? I feel like it's stupid to get upset about somebody spoiling the outcome of something that actually happened in the past
Yep.
on Earth in this dimension.
it's
I mean, everybody's got to figure it out sometime.
We
Why does it
lost
matter?
Vietnam.
We were talking about it last night. They were like, "How'd you find out, Will?" I was like, "I was watching TV with my wife, and Dr. Hoy texted me." And they were
Yeah.
like, because we were talking about how mad everybody was about
Yeah.
spoilers.
you mad, bro?
I was like, and I wasn't mad at all. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh no way, that's awesome!" And then I looked up the video and watched it, and it was just as awesome as I
Yeah.
thought it would.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah, it was. Philo was commentating, and he was like, "I wish I was there to feel this energy," because they were commentating from Mulligan's. Their table was set up; they had a live feed, so the commentary of the Disc Golf Network is from Mulligan's, and they were like, "I wish I could be there to feel this energy," because everybody in disc golf, like all the people you follow, it was like the reaction cams, like Paige Pierce reaction.
Let's talk about
Big
some
German.
commentary. How
Let's-
did you feel about the 3-person commentary this year on the live?
Okay, I think Charlie Eisenhood.
Eisenhood.
Okay.
That guy killed it, man.
Okay.
That guy. There was a funny moment when they were ending the FPO coverage, and they were all like sitting there like, and we'll send it back to the studio, and everybody's like, and it's just hanging there, and you hear the video goes out, but then it's like, Jesus, you really hung us out right there. And then everybody's commenting like, I don't mean they probably cut that out of the video because Disc Golf Network puts up the video like after, you know, you can still watch it after, but they're like, Jesus, you really hung us out to dry there. And you can hear that right as they're cut to a commercial. And then they come back and everybody's like,
It's like those
do
fateful,
a recap.
it's like those fateful butt dials where you're like,
Yeah.
you're like just happen to be talking shit about
Yeah.
somebody that your
you
ass
call.
is currently
Yeah.
calling, and then they're on the phone. You don't know. You're like, man, I don't know what's up with that Will dude lately, man, but he's been
Yeah.
acting like
Then
a
you get a phone
jackass."
call
Your,
back.
your mouth's writing checks, your ass can't
I'm
cash.
right here.
And you get that phone call back, and it's like, oh, hey, Will's calling me. Hey, buddy, what's
Yeah.
going on? What were
You
just
yell for
talking
5
about?
minutes, and then you
Hey,
just stop and you're just listening
You
to them
left, me
talk
a,
shit.
you left me a 20-minute message.
Oh, shit.
You know, it's like, well, actually, the last minute was somebody talking, but the first 19 minutes was me just walking around, you know, cleaning the house, and then you realize you butt dialed somebody.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're just like singing oldies.
Yeah. That's it.
Motown, baby.
Yep. So
Before you ask questions, and don't make assumptions.
Actually, I think it's like, it's a beautiful time of year. People are hyped up. Disc golf is more, there's more people in it. People are more hyped than ever. And this controversy is like, and we didn't even see like the top rated golf. I mean, Eagle, he was hardly on any lead card. I don't, was he on a feature card? Like,
Oh, after his
There was a
documentary
lot of-
dropped, you would expect him big things.
well, there's a lot of, I mean, it's tough out there. And I think Worlds, it's 5 rounds.
The
I don't
fort
know.
will get you.
Yeah, exactly.
The fort will get you.
Well, if you
Yeah.
notice, too,
The
Conrad-
endurance, but also like you can get off in that first round. And Paul Ulibarri said I took myself out of it on the first round. He didn't play as well as he wanted to, and it's like, I mean, those guys are running away.
Well, I thought was interesting is what
what Conrad said, it was like the past 2 years we finished on a big ball golf course, but this year we're finishing in the woods. He was like, and I feel a lot more at home and I feel a lot more comfortable. And it kind of, not saying that made any difference with the shot, because that shot was not minus him having to bend it, there wasn't a lot of woods out there to affect the angle or anything like that. It was just a great shot.
But that is his shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Anheuser-Busch shot.
But just him saying that made me think it's like, what's wrong with ending necessarily a tournament like that on a woods course instead of it being on an open, minus the media coverage. And I'll be the first person to say that's what you're going to deal with if you finish on a woods course nowadays.
Well, it was woods, but those last 3 holes were very spectator friendly.
Yes, the last 3 were. But for the most part, you would see massive amounts of people, a thicket of woods, and you knew people were behind that thicket of woods. Oh, yeah. And then you just see more people.
Well, that's Cedar Hill. It's densely wooded with very spectator-friendly areas scattered around the course. I mean, and this is legitimately, and if I were to give you my honest opinion about ending a tournament in a wooded course, I say no. I say it's a bad idea, because in the final round, you want to see what's happening more than the previous rounds, because it's all on the line in the final round. This is where we separate everything. This is where somebody wins and somebody loses. So we want to see as much of it as possible. And so if you take that final round and you put it in somewhere where you barely have room for 2 cameras, and then you've got spectators and all this other stuff to think about, you're going to either, there's no way around it. You're going to end up with less than ideal media coverage of that event. And if your event is something that you want there to be media coverage, like if you feel like it's a significant moment that needs to be held up in perpetuity for everybody to watch, that's the only thing you can do is have, and it doesn't all have to be golf courses, but not every course is created equally. You saw like Beaver State Fling and all that stuff, and there's just certain courses like Santa Cruz, there's just no signal. You can't get live coverage up there. Right. You know what I mean? It's just, there's certain things you can't do. Does that always mean it's not worth having the event? No, absolutely not. You're just not going to have live coverage of it.
Right.
People still want the Masters Cup to go on. It's not that. It's not.
We're not at
breaker.
that point yet where you can drive a truck out there with an antenna. And,
right, but for our purposes, being the National Tour finale, you want a little bit more media. You want everything to be spectator friendly. You want all those things. So that's why, we want Cedar Hill to be in the mix for local selfish reasons, but we also, we want there to be quality media, and we want to have enough space to really blow it out on the last day. So that's just, I think I think it's definitely a good idea to balance it out with wooded and open courses, because that's the whole thing everybody argues about is, are we playing golf or are we playing disc golf? And it's like, well, we can do both and have a well-rounded game,
Right.
We don't have to stick to one or the other. And I think we're walking the tightrope very well with MCO this year. I think what we have planned is.
And if you have, you want to give people enough rounds too, like having 4-round events. I think it's going to be going to that because the Worlds is 5, but you want to get the best rise to the top. So on average, you're going to get the better player that 4 days to rise to the top.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. I'm thinking they were talking about the chase card. There hasn't been a chase card MPO winner, but then they also, you said the final 9. So you had the lead card. Basically everybody was on the lead card at the end, going to the final 9. So we're not quite to where. Now, this was a tight one where it could have happened. There's a lot of people in the mix until the last 3 to 4 holes. A couple. Dickerson was right there. Nate Sexton. They took a couple bogeys. Or just, they couldn't keep up. They didn't have enough holes to get a couple more birdies. But this was a close one. Obviously it's the closest it's been, the finish. But other people had having a chance at it. And it's crazy to go back and think Conrad aced hole 16. He needed that stroke. It's cool to hit an ace, but he needed that one extra stroke. And then you look through the round and you're like, man, there's so many, one shot here, one shot there.
Through the whole,
it came down to it.
Through any disc golf round.
Macbeth, he threw one shot that bounced off the fence and parked. It was an upshot. He throws it to intentionally bounce it off the fence. I think it was on hole 15 or 14 at the fort, and he bounces off the fence and then it slides up to the basket and he gets his par.
That might have been hole 12.
Maybe hole 12. There was that fence running through it, and it was just damn, man.
The fence is on 11 and 12, I believe.
because that's what Yuli was talking about on the Joe Miss coverage. Is everybody practices their putts for the World Championship and tries to get 500-foot distance, but it comes down to those 200-foot shots.
Yeah.
Like those 200 to 250-foot shots. That's, I mean, look at both things came down to 250-foot shots.
When there's a marked metal plate on where you have to land, and you have to land within 10 foot from it to have a decent shot to the basket to get a birdie, that's the kind of courses you need around if you want to get better.
Yeah. What was that hole like that you were like floating up in the, like you're throwing down and it's like has a thing so you don't fall off on the fort? I think it was hole maybe 6, 7, or 8. You're teeing off up above.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
your shot could go long in the river and it's got all those trees.
Yeah.
But there's that thing in front that's like, don't fall off.
That's actually what'll mess you up on that hole is thinking you're going to go far in the river when you really need to glide a lot further than you're thinking.
Yeah. I want to play that course.
I was wondering if anybody had actually fell into that thing.
Yeah, like the little catch, like don't fall off the hole. Because I forgot it's like in front of the tee pad and it's, tilted out, but it's so you don't.
Yeah.
But Conrad
Yeah,
didn't fall.
because
So
if you fall off that, man, it ain't going to feel too good.
Yeah. Man, he had a couple shots on those cart path drives that he was like doing the tennis. And he was just flying like Conrad on some of those shots.
The atom bomb.
Yeah. Like, what?
Ajime.
Hey, does anyone see my disc?
Shout out to A-Bomb.
Oh, dude.
Hey, bomb.
I just played around with him on Sunday.
Oh yeah, dude.
was
Love that guy. Yeah. Hey, just count me in for any tournament, man. I'll give you cash.
Yep. Any tournament. Any tournament.
Just always put me in, man.
Just tell me where and when.
Yeah.
Was there I know you didn't do a whole lot of spectating, but was there any like moments that you saw firsthand that really stand out to you as things that you'll remember, like crazy shots or people did something unlikely or most memorable moment of the tournament?
I don't know, man. I was more focused on my shots than anything while playing.
When you finished,
I did get to see Macbeth. I think it was hole 4. Yeah, it was hole 4. And I went up. Okay, maybe it was 5. But one of those holes, I got to see him hit like a 50 or 60 footer, and that was probably the best thing that I've actually got to see outside of what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
I really didn't see too much fan. I saw more of, hey, wow, I didn't expect that from that great of a player. Mm-hmm. Like,
Yeah.
those courses will get the best of anyone.
Yeah, there was
a bad day.
there were people getting smacked around. I mean, for sure, OB baskets were not being kind to many players, and it was crazy. I mean, like I thought it was really interesting to see all the players that were making a run for contention, like within the first 3 rounds. I mean, it was anybody's game. Emerson was hot. Sexton was hot. Conrad was looking good. Macbeth. Everybody was in there.
Oh yeah, Mulligans is one of those courses where you're either going to shoot a 10, a 9 or 10, or an over par.
Yeah,
like it was. If you're kind of around 5 or 6, it's kind of because you was bouncing up and down, up and down.
Well, look at
usually
Hamburg,
a course like that.
Look at Hamburg's round. I mean, he didn't play a bad necessarily last round. He just didn't get it going.
And he was he was most people's favorite.
Yeah.
I think after the first few rounds, he was.
I was definitely.
But his last round wasn't terrible. Just could not get anything going with his putter.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You have that many of the world's best players in that kind of a situation, all running for the same thing. I mean, anything can happen.
And Katrina, she stayed fighting the whole time. Like there was a time when she laid up on 17, and everybody's like, "Oh, she laid that up," or one of those taller baskets, maybe 13, and then she had has the chance at the end. She throws a crazy turnover with the driver. It comes within half a disc of being out of bounds. And puts the pressure on Paige, and then she misses the upshot. It goes out of bounds, and so then Katrina's has 2 putts for the win.
Which was the better finish, James or the FPO?
Well, I have to say James, just based on the improbabilities. But
do you think it's the best all time shot ever?
I think it's one of the best sports plays ever.
I think so. I
think one of the top.
I think it personally overtakes Falo's albatross.
Absolutely
tough-
the clutchest
That's like
shot.
his albatross was like the probability was probably the same. You know, I don't know what the probability difference would be,
Not
but what
much.
was on the line
Yeah, exactly.
and how you had that's the only thing you had to do and who it was against.
the
I
only thing
mean,
you had to do, the only thing you could do.
right,
Like,
right.
you-
That's all, and who it was against. I mean, it's
yeah.
like I mean,
gotta be number
legend.
We were talking about this with
That's-
Jeff a little bit last night. You know, probability wise, you're talking just strictly the shot. Philo's shot was the more unlikely of the two,
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there's no comparing the pressure and the weight of that shot between
Yeah.
the Beaver State Fling and the World Championship.
And
wherever
seeing
it
it go in, and the fans. I mean, there was a guy in a
Oh, man.
Could you imagine
American
how he
flag,
felt?
Oh God!
American flag bathing
You could
suit
see how
running
he
through and
felt.
jumping in the pond. It was crazy, man. It was,
America, baby.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's always what's amazing to see. And I mean, yeah, this is it's like apples and oranges doing these kind of comparisons. It's like the whole Jordan LeBron thing. It's you can't really you're comparing two different things, especially when you talk about Katrina's win.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about Katrina versus James. I mean, Katrina and Paige. How many times have we seen that come down
Yeah.
to the wire?
Over.
Right.
I mean, that's nothing new, and it could have just as easily gone the other way. And when you see the
Yeah.
situation that James had in front of him, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everybody counts on Paul to win in that situation, especially
Oh,
coming
gosh.
when he's in the top
And the
three.
Highly
layup, the
expected.
layup is the play.
Who thought though? As
The
soon as
lay-
it left at hand, it was in. Because like as soon as it left at hand, I was like, "Oh, that's a chance."
That's what I'm saying. Is like
That's- so
one
you're telling
under
me there's a
others.
chance.
Like it wouldn't even have had to have been Paul laid up, James 250 out. You're within that. You have that few holes left in that event, and Paul is in the top three. I mean, everybody's pretty
Yeah.
much saying like, well, it's just a matter of time until he closes it up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, but then you talk about that. Everybody thought Paul won. Like
Oh, yeah.
everybody was like, well, that's
Even
six-time
Nate
Paul.
Doss was like, all right, 6-time Paul.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, got to walk it back.
And Chomez, I thought Paul, Sexton, and Jeremy did a great job of not giving it away.
Yeah, I can only
Considering they had
imagine what
already
that
seen it.
was
Oh,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like,
for sure.
oh, that's a crazy shot. And then you see them reacting to it while they're commenting. They're like, yeah, that's me. Getting crazy.
So
right
you
there.
know that like.
But
they
even
did a
Paul's
great
face,
job.
Paul's
Yeah.
face was like, dude, that's a crazy. That was awesome.
Oh,
Like,
I
he
mean,
gave him dabs, and then he gave him.
I think-
you know,
I think-
shook his hand after. He's like,
I think
dude.
Paul knew in that moment, even though he knew he was going extra holes. I think he knew that
It was over.
this was
That's
not his
just-
year.
I mean,
I
that's-
just think he just knew.
This was something we talked about
Why do you
last
think that
night
knee
too.
shake was?
There was a feeling. It
was
was
just-
almost like the stars aligned. You could
Yeah.
feel it coming. It was like
Coming around a mountain.
you could see Paul. Paul had a look on his face. Yeah. James is going. Everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god!" And then that big ass crowd got silent,
yeah.
and you could hear everything. You could hear birds, and the shot comes out. One
And then it
person
peaked.
says, "Get in the hole!"
Yeah.
Everybody says, "Get in the
Yeah.
hole!"
It all started with that one girl that said, "Get in the hole."
Yep, one person.
It took one person.
That one guy
Oh,
said it
man.
1,000 times that day, but he was right that one time. There's always got mashed potatoes, getting a hole.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, get your ass on YouTube and get to Chomez
Yeah.
and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take our
That's-
word for it. 'Cause
That's
it is. You will
Chomez.
jump-
That's CHOMEZ.
Jomez.
My dad
Jomez.
never watches disc golf.
I'm sorry.
And he was like, "That is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life."
Dude, there's no seeing that. I don't care who you are without feeling the emotion in that moment.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Farm Fresh said he was at a tournament with James Conrad's dad this weekend, and he talked to him like the next morning, Sunday morning at the campsite. His dad was like, "Yeah, that's my son."
Talk about a
Yeah.
proud papa.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly,
the
yeah.
proudest.
I can only
Can only-
imagine. Yeah, it's-
Yeah.
God, how proud is your mom of you right now?
They're pretty proud.
Yeah, I bet,
yeah,
dude.
You represented
Your
well.
mom friended me on Facebook today.
Well, the fact
Nashville's proud of you,
I
man.
if you're
invited
new
her
to-
to the podcast.
Nashville's
Nice.
proud of you,
if you're
man.
new to disc golf, the World Championships is one of those events you earn your right to be there. You don't just get
Yeah.
to go. You don't
Gotta
sign
qualify.
And
You have
competing
to qualify.
there is like, I mean, you competed there, like you were in the
Yeah.
mix.
It wasn't just that you
I put
qualified.
in a lot of hard work.
You really
Yeah.
did,
Played
man.
a lot.
Stone-
a lot of putting at home.
I'll be
Yeah.
real with you.
You've grown up a lot, man.
I've sat behind the bench with this guy and this guy and this guy for years and years, and this guy for the past 3. Stone, you have been one of the most proficient and quickest people to pick up this game that
Yeah.
I guarantee that any 3 of us have ever seen.
Yeah.
Because you literally showed up on the scene, like he said, big old glasses, shirt off, hanging out, just having a good time, and now look at you. And that's been what, 3 years, 2 years, 2 to 4 years,
Been about
roughly.
Well, 4 years.
6
total.
years since I
6 years.
started,
Yeah,
and then I
but-
came to Nashville and got whooped by Rodney for money. I was like, hey,
How
man, I
long-
want to play
how
with
long-
y'all.
How long have you been doing it where you've been seriously taking it with that mindset? 2 years, maybe?
I mean, I knew that I was getting better
Mm-hmm.
because I was actually able to compete with Rodney for a little
Mm-hmm.
while. I mean, eventually it got to where I would like time or have him by 2, and he'd still beat me on the last 2 holes or something like.
He does
And
that.
then, and
Yeah.
then,
Yeah,
and
he
then
finds a way.
Oh,
Ask
yeah.
Castellina about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, we
Too
did.
soon. Too soon. Yeah.
But yeah, man, like it progressed, and then once Dr. Hoy got my PDGA membership, I mean,
You kind of were forced into it, huh?
That's why I did that. I was like,
Forced
out there.
something about getting rated, man. I don't like getting rated badly. Like,
I understand. Shoot,
I
none
don't
of us
like
do.
it. I'm too competitive. I get it from my dad. Like
it was funny.
any
I saw
game
you.
play.
I saw you at that tournament. You're like, yeah, man, the first round went pretty well. And you're walking like in the lunch break is like was it Barfield Open or Skeeter Heater last year?
Yeah.
And you have a huge chili cheese coney and a Route 44 ocean water, and I was like, oh man,
He's got a
knew it was an ocean water?
Route 44
Got him. He
He
ocean
remembers
water.
the ocean
The
water.
ocean water is
Ocean
the
water is
he
the
left.
best.
He left it, and he's like, "Oh shit, my ocean water." He came back.
Yeah, I
and
needed
I'm like
my
sitting here
ocean
trying to
water,
eat a
man.
turkey sandwich with no turkey on it, hardly.
Oh, dude.
Oh, Dylan, let me talk about Hoy's sandwich making.
It was a sandwich.
It was not
It was a
sandwich.
wish sandwich.
It was a bread
I
with
wish
a
I
piece
had
of meat
some-
on it
yeah.
and cheese.
Yeah.
He pulls this sandwich out at a tournament, and then he pulls it out of the bag, and he goes, loop.
And Jay's like,
Just
how,
goes-
did- how,
I was like, bro, what kind of
That's not-
sandwich is that?
How's it
That's
stay
not
so
nearly as depressing as what comes out of Sean Phillips's golf bag.
Oh,
Or not even his golf bag.
man.
Oh, no.
If you guys ever see me on the course, ask
Poor
me to tell you
Sean.
the story about Mose and his
Terry
pocket
Town.
ham.
What about his fun
potted
box?
meat?
He's got a fun box,
give me
ladies
all
and
the
gentlemen.
ham.
Dude had a wad of ham in a Ziploc. It wasn't even in a Ziploc baggie. It was wrapped up in cellophane and in his
Oh,
pocket.
damn.
He said a
A
wad.
piece of ham and cellophane.
Not a slide.
It was not a
Come
piece.
on,
It was
Sean.
a wad of ham. It was not just
Yeah.
one piece. He had gone into
1
a
gram of
fridge,
ham.
pilfered some ham, wrapped it up in cellophane, and jammed it in his golf bag. And he was
He likes jerky. He's trying to dry
So-
it out.
every hole he was setting it up on top of the bench, like
Yeah.
finding the best sunny
It's like a
spot.
Thanksgiving round.
So he's got
no.
his. You know how he's got the big
was
bottle
like
of Kentucky
cold
Deluxe,
cuts.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he's got.
he cut a hole in the top of his disc golf bag so he can always fit his whiskey bottle in there. He was like,
Man.
"See this hole?" He was like, "I did this
Hey,
for my whiskey
hey,
bottle."
double G, when you're listening to this, we got to get a picture and a moment with Sean Phillips and Double G holding the bag of jerky. He's got to sign some jerky because this guy buys. He's probably
Sharpie
already
on
bought $300 worth of jerky.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man. Sean.
He's
I
jerky
love
crazy,
Sean.
man.
And that's just a teaser for him.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an
Exactly.
appetizer.
yeah.
He's gonna get a whole box.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
wait.
Terrytown coming soon.
Larry
Larrytown.
I will never forget this day,
Very
the
tough.
wad of ham.
Got the meat.
Pocket ham, dude.
Disc golf. We've got the meats.
That's what I called it. I was like, I like looked at him. He pulls it out. And he was like, he like offered me ham out of
What's
his pocket.
my
Like,
ham?
what's on my ham? I'm like, you're the only
No, bro.
only
What if he
dude
took
I
a piece of
know.
that and then like some easy cheese? You remember that shit?
Yeah.
It was like,
guy. I said this on a
It's the only
recent
time I
episode.
pass on ham.
I was trying to tell somebody who Sean was. Like, you've seen him. He's always at 7-0. So
Yeah.
I was like, he always looks like he just crawled out from underneath a truck.
yeah.
He always
Oh, yeah, I remember Sean.
always
Yeah.
smells vaguely of
I know that
barbecue
guy.
and regret.
Yeah.
Barbecue. Oh my god.
That's a new flavor.
Honestly,
Double G, get at him.
I don't think he regrets a thing.
Larry's jerky.
There,
probably
Sean
the
has
best part.
no regrets.
doesn't
No regrets.
No regrets.
If you want to have some fun, just go hang out with Will McCaskill and Sean. You'll have a
dude.
blast.
I thought Sean.
We have a good time.
I thought Sean's name was Jamie for 2 years.
Huh?
I thought Sean's name was
Why?
Jamie for two. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Oh my god!
But I
I'm
walked
never
up to
gonna
him in
call him Sean
Logwood, and he
again.
was like, "Joe, man, blah 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 blah." And he offers me some friendly stuff, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, thanks, Jamie." And he was like, "My name's Sean."
There's nothing
He
worse
was like,
than
"You
that.
he was like, you've
years
done
later.
this for months." He was like, "You've done this for months now." And in my head, I'm like, "I've done it for years."
Yeah.
I was like, when I've been referring to you in conversation, I've called you Jamie. So whoever Jamie out there who's gotten some rap, I apologize.
Jamie Miller's been getting called Sean for
Yeah.
years.
Every time I see him, I'm gonna be like, Jamie,
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie.
where are you,
Oh,
Jamie?
he'll let you know for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember
So sorry, buddy.
there was this old 80-year-old man used to work in my shop. His name was Phil. Rest in peace. And there we have our FedEx man. We've had the same FedEx man that pulls up to the dock right behind our shop every day for the last, as long as I've been there, 11 years. His name's Gary. And Phil
best
had it
name.
in his head that this dude's name was Frank. And he would always tell me, like, he'd see Gary walking down the hall and be like, "Oh, yeah, good night, hey, Frank. How you doing, Frank?" And Gary would look at him and just shake his head and look at me, and I'd be like, and Phil would be telling me, like, that's who he is. Like, I didn't know him.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not
That's
Frank.
Frank.
That's not Frank, dude. And then I remember there was one day after years of this, we're going down the hall. Gary comes around the corner with a flatbed cart full of boxes. And Phil's like, "Hey, how you doing, Gary?" And Gary just doesn't even look at him, just keeps walking and goes, "Or how you doing, Frank?" And he comes down and he goes, "Gary."
Gary, brother.
Yeah.
That's why I always stick to
Yeah.
the buddy.
Hey,
Hey, what's
buddy.
up, buddy?
That's good.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
He's safe.
Hey, there,
very
guy.
My
safe.
friend. My friend.
What's up, dude?
My friend. Hey, my
What's up,
friend.
dude?
Exactly.
Hey, my friend.
Yeah, it's hard to put the face to the name there, but
A lot of times,
yeah. So I don't remember if this was on the failed take of our podcast tonight or not, but you mentioned you feel like that, like when you earned yourself a spot on the A pool and you were on the card with Nico and Colt, and that was like the first time that you felt like you were actually a professional.
Yeah.
Like you kind of arrived there.
I felt it definitely boosted some confidence and showed that I could actually like
compete. And be
I could compete because I was not putting my best at all, but I still made it into the A pool. And I feel like if I was on my game with my putts, those first two rounds,
You were right there.
I would have been well up there. Probably at least 5 or 6 strokes better. At least.
You know, a man by the name of Dan Sisk one told me one time, it's not necessarily the shots you pull off, but it's the mindset that you have when you step onto the tee pad. And I wonder if that rings true when you had that feeling.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I stepped on the tee pad is one of the best feelings that I've had because I knew I had to execute it.
Mhm.
Like, say if you're playing a casual round with friends or you're playing a little money round or whatever, you
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of tee pads you step up on and just
So
you're a little lazy. You're a little lazy when you throw that shot. You step up on a pad in Worlds, not one bit. You're probably going to throw a little bit further than expected. There's going to be a lot more energy behind the shot. I mean, like, it's a good feeling to put everything into that one shot, and that's not something that I have been used to, but I really like that feeling, and it makes me want to play higher tiers and stuff.
would it be safe to say that it was like a different fatigue besides a body fatigue, maybe a mental fatigue afterwards too?
I don't know, man. I didn't really have any nerves in the body, I don't think, but like
You seem pretty loose.
Yeah.
From what I
How did
saw.
you recover after the rounds? What would you do? Just
That's good.
go
I
chill?
mean, there was
Drink
only
some water?
one round that I was aggravated, but it didn't last long because I walked.
Did you get your ocean water?
I walked to the parking lot and saw Nico throwing stuff at his van. So
All right.
that kind of made me feel a little bit better. I was like, well, at least I'm not acting like that. You know,
I'm not that mad.
I'm not that bad.
Yeah. And then you walked up and gave him ocean water.
No, I tried
go,
to buy.
bro, this will help.
I tried to buy a shirt from him a couple of times.
You want some
and,
pineapple pizza,
He was
bro?
like, "Yeah, I'll get you that shirt." And then next thing you know, he's peeling out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Man, I mean,
That's to go.
Tried to support your tour.
Was
bro.
his rounds that bad, or is it just obese for him as well?
OBs and sand traps probably, and a couple shorter missed putts, but I mean, it's 30-mile-an-hour winds. You may not hit that putt. I had a putt
gotcha.
settle, like almost fully settle, and blow out of the basket in a massive headwind gust. That Colt Montgomery was just like, I'm so sorry, bro. He was like, I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah. Damn.
That's not
Thermals.
fair.
I was like, yep, and it would
I
be
had
on
you
the
at
day that I'm
1.5
not shooting too
seconds.
good.
Yeah.
If you had to give, I'm going to give a shout out to Marcus, his favorite segment of the show. If you had to give a pro tip to somebody, because this is, I mean, I know it's hard to take full stock and appreciation of stuff like this when it happens for you because it actually happened to you and you lived through it. But I mean, like, what you did, getting to a professional level where you can compete with your peers at a high level, and then actually going to compete at the world the world championships. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say 80 to 90% of disc golfers hope to one day just go to worlds and watch.
True that.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you're in a very small percentage of disc golf fanatics that has actually qualified and traveled to compete in a world championship. So that's a huge accomplishment. So I know
That's
that
the first goal.
yeah. Now win one, right? That's the next one.
The next goal is
That was another question I had.
is make the
coming up.
championship around, and then the next goal would be to go for it all.
Yeah.
Or maybe just go ahead and go for it all. But I mean, I still have a lot to learn.
Is there anything that you kind of realized that you had a better appreciation or understanding of coming away from Worlds that you maybe didn't understand as fully going into it? Was there anything that you maybe had the wrong impression about or misunderestimated or I'm just making up words now.
Misunderestimated. I had misunderestimated that putt, sir.
Yes, you had.
Sorry.
I kind of underestimated how serious some players would take it. Like, maybe they'll take it seriously on some media, but like when they're in the round,
They serious?
no.
Or at their van in the parking lot.
No, they're having a blast.
Really?
Yeah, they're serious. Like, you watch them, they're all in their face, but they still talk and cut up with each other. I mean, it's still fun. Like,
Yeah.
the game is still fun. The serious aspect does not take the fun away at
Yeah.
all.
Nice.
It's kind of like shot per shot.
Yeah, and they're like, you throw a bad shot and it accidentally trickles in the water, and they're like, "Dang, man, that looked good." Like, I mean, it keeps everybody keeps everybody.
It's nice
going,
to see that
know?
the camaraderie stays the same. You know, as you can progress through the fields,
Well-
from the rankings up through.
This was a lesson that I just got a firsthand reminder of on Sunday. I made a post about it with my scorecard. It's a stark visual aid. You look at that scorecard because it's all white and blue, holes 1 through 9, and then it's a whole bunch of varying shades of orange after that. And it was like, man, I got through 9 holes at Ogwood. I birdied 1 and 4, and I parked within 10 feet of hole 9's basket, bogey free, just feeling good, having fun, cutting up. Good card. It was me, JT Rosenthal, AB, and a guy named John and Jerry Pardue. And so it was a good card. We were having fun. I was cracking
That's
jokes.
a very fun card.
Yeah, it was a good card. And it was like homies. We're having a good time. And then hole 9, park within 10 feet of the basket, dink my putt, instantly not having fun anymore.
And then A-Bomb asks where the basket is.
Yeah, exactly. And then he goes, "What's that?
Has anyone seen my disc?
Hadouken!"
A-Bomb, we've played this course twice today. It's the 3rd round. Maybe that's why you don't remember.
They might have moved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I completely fell off my pivot in that one moment. The rest of the round, I was just in a bad mental. I just couldn't let go of that stupid dinked putt. And I learned there's a very direct, and it's not the first time I know this lesson. I just, you spend your life learning some of these lessons, but it's like there's a direct correlation between enjoying yourself and playing well. And even at the professional level, at a world championship with all that pressure and all of that stuff on the line, you still see them not lose their shit over going OB. And you don't, not get hung up on one bad putt and they move on to the next shot. Each one stands on its own.
Note to some people out there.
Well, I know.
If you want to play around with Will and you don't want him to get mad, don't walk in front of him twice in front of his putts.
Same hole.
Third time's the charm.
Don't do that.
It's third time. I might
Don't do
actually
it.
make it. You might have helped.
I thought it was don't play Nickelback.
It's like one of those little.
or Scott
that.
Stapp.
Or that. Well, I've not played Scott Stapp for you in a round. I know better than that, but I didn't know better than to walk out in front of you twice.
Look at this photograph.
Every time I do it, makes me crap.
a photograph.
No, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
It's a photo of a photograph.
I'll tell you what gets me.
It's a
instantly
video
is Red
of a
Hot
photo
Chili
of a
Peppers.
photograph.
driving range.
Too soon. Too
Outdid
soon.
himself.
Oh man,
And the people still complain.
yeah. Oh man, what a trip, dude. And then it's like all the negative, all the drama, and then all
just
the
kinda
good vibes
flushed.
at the very end.
Straight up.
Oh yeah.
And it was
That's how disc golf should be. Like you said, it was a perfect ending to the way it all kept off, I thought.
yeah. And you know what? At the end of the day, I am thankful that we get to see such good coverage of all this stuff because I get to see a lot of stuff not to do
I can't
at the
even-
Music City
Yeah.
Open.
I can't even
Yeah.
keep up with all the coverage.
Oh,
Like
I know.
Ace Run Pro was out there filming second card FPO, and Hokum hit an ace, and when it was on a hole 18, like
Yeah.
The coverage in
It
disc
was-
golf
it's
is
crazy.
second to none
Like-
nowadays.
I probably watched maybe 5 minutes each of half the videos.
Yeah.
And Will, don't you worry. There will be something that you have to deal with.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there usually is.
Don't worry.
Hopefully, there's no stinkiness.
I am gonna paint the bunkers before the tournament, though. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
What bunkers?
We're gonna be
What
on
No, we're
bunkers?
just not gonna have any.
Hey, there's no bunkers at Mill Ridge.
Fill
Do we have any Mandos?
No,
We have a couple on the A tier courses.
No, not at Mill Ridge.
Well,
Not at Cedar Hill.
No.
Somebody hit up
Cedar
Kearns
Hills-
and tell him to make a big Mando.
the only Mando at Cedar Hill was 8, and we take that out of play for the MCO.
It's
so-
gone. It's not even there
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah,
You
we
can't.
don't-
There's no signs.
Oh, it's
New
gone.
stuff
The sign's
coming-
gone out there.
hey man, hey, this is good news for everybody that played MCO last year in the MPO and FPO
Yeah.
divisions. We have done some work. Well,
Oh, yeah.
Billy Fowler has done some work
Big
on
fellow.
hole 18 at Cedar Hill, the new long position. So there is a designated route through there. Now you're welcome.
Look for a couple new MPO.
And how long ago was
Yeah.
this done?
Look for a couple new Cedar
after
Hill
the
hole
tournament.
place,
5.
pin
After the
placements.
tournament.
Look for a couple new pin placements out there at Cedar Hill.
Hey, we took down
Brand
one tree.
And it's all better. It fixed the whole thing.
Hey, check this out. Whack.
No, we just told them it was better. We didn't take out anything.
See, one tree made all the difference in the world. See what I'm talking
We
about?
greased up just straight right
Well,
here.
we agree with
We
you.
couldn't
after
find
you
any
showed
more
it to
dead
us.
ones.
And a month and a half after that, we agreed.
T-pads are being renovated at Cedar Hill. T-pads are about to be
Well,
under
they're
construction in Mill
the
Ridge.
area.
They are getting remodeled.
Yeah, renovated, repaired,
It's kind of
embellished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some issues last year, and those will be addressed for 2021.
step ups and step downs.
Yep.
What is it? 5 new sleeves too.
Oh, hey,
Yeah, there's a-
update on Naval Hill. We are still playing Naval Hill in the Music City Open.
We are still playing Naval Hill.
shakalaka.
Hole 9. It's likely going to be 1 through 19. No hole 9. Hole 9 is unplayable right now. It's not safe to go look for your disc.
Yep.
And hole 4 does have a tree
Hole
in front of the T-pad now, but that one I'm pretty sure we can.
We can. I bet it won't be there by MCO. We're going to have to do a temp T-pad for the back tag, but Marcus is on it.
And with any luck, the bridge will be done.
Yep.
Yeah,
they're
Combs
not.
is already
They're
on
not going to
that.
give us any wood, so we got to.
Yeah.
But
I could have told you that.
Well,
we can
somehow
ask.
they gave Dave Borders I guess a bunch of wood back in the day.
Back
Yeah.
in the day is a different story. That
Yeah.
was a different board. That was different.
Yeah, well, we
Nashville.
pursued
Well, they gave
that
Griff
route.
some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Griff. And
But I
we
mean-
But I
pursued
know
that
it's a
route.
different day even now because the wood price of wood's gone up. So
Well, it did plateau and it did start to fall. It's not back to normal, but it has fallen.
it's no
a little.
Dogecoin.
No Doggy Coin. Doggy Coin.
Doggy Kong.
You haven't been to
That
poker
might be
night,
in a
but
player pack. Doggy Kong might
David
be.
Westrom, love you, brother. I know you're out there listening, but gosh dang it on you and the Dogecoin.
Hey, shout out to Dave.
Marcus
Westrom.
was in here checking his stocks on Dogecoin.
Shout
the other
out,
night.
shout out to Dave Westrom. He hooked us up with a good deal on some Discraft plastic.
Yeah, he did,
And
you don't have
we-
any more Discraft
A
plastic.
good deal from Dave Westrom.
Easy,
This is not the place for
easy.
these things.
Buying in bulk,
love you,
bro.
Dave.
Buying in bulk, bro.
I mean, in my opinion, you're buying Discraft, you're already overpaying.
No,
but,
no, hey,
Would you like some ice for
no.
that, Bird?
The
Yeah.
thing is
Sick
every time
burn.
I go get a disc from him, it's probably a good one,
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
and I don't mind overpaying for a good disc.
Dude, I watched Logan Bowers.
You're one of those guys that'll spend $70 on
Yeah.
a CE disc and break it the second time you
No,
throw it.
No,
Dude, I
no,
watched-
no CE.
I
Just
watched Bowers
pre-flight and-
put a either a rock or a gator he had just paid $150 for, pulled it out of the Ziploc plastic, put his name on it, and put it straight in his bag. And I was like, Jesus
Discs are meant to be.
Christ.
They're meant to be thrown.
Yeah, but 150, good.
Well, did you
Lord.
see?
Especially for something that's on its way, like on
On
a
its way
countdown
out.
to when this thing's gonna break.
Sad
into pieces.
Sad Dog Disc had 2 discs that were like $500. There was
No
some
way.
collector Paul Macbeth Foundation. Yeah, dude, they had these discs. It was like in this box, not
If
a
anybody
plastic.
wanted to hit me up for the first Sports Center Nate Doss Ace disc, reverse stamp, hit me up, bro. Autographed.
That was
What up?
You got it?
Yeah, I got one. Yeah, reverse stamp.
Oh, I thought you meant the
autographed.
disc that he threw it in. With.
Oh, I have that disc too. He gave it to me. He wiped his rear with it and handed it to me.
Nah.
No, I have the replica.
Okay.
I'm the replica.
Okay, shit, disc guy.
Ooh, that's a great name for a company. Shit disc guy.
No, shitty disc.
Can I do your payout, guys?
All
you want
the
shit
ironic
disc guy to
disc
do your
golf names
payout?
and the funny ones. I feel like disc golf. A lot of the names are taken.
Shitty disc.
I don't know.
Might be a good
Bogey.
one.
Check out
Birdie.
disc shit.
Hey, we
Yeah.
got shitty disc here
Check
to do our
disc
payout.
shit out.
This shit.
Hey, you think that's crazy?
What's
Watch
up?
disc shit.
You can drink
Yes, I
piss.
did.
You can drink.
I don't know.
anything.
I'll work on it.
Yeah.
I'll run it by Marcus.
Disc do.
Hey,
Do
man,
this.
Marcus is his brain.
Do this,
brain's
do this,
everywhere.
do that, do that.
So Stone, pro
that.
tip: if you were to give somebody a tip that wanted to make it to Worlds, what would you tell them?
Give us the tip.
Or somebody that was going to Worlds for their first time. what would-
Don't be one of those people that says, "I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better," and play once a week. Don't. I mean, that's not gonna help. I mean, damn it. I mean, I can.
Damn, Stone, why are you looking at me when you say it?
Yeah, I was like,
I mean,
damn it.
well, I mean, if you want to get better, man, I mean, I will. I work for a moving company, so I will go move 3 apartments on the 3rd floor. I go straight to the course, and sometimes when I get home, I putt after that. Like, I mean,
You hungry?
I don't know. I just be like, Alexa, play this, and then I'm going at it with the basket.
What's your favorite music to listen to while you putt?
Let's see.
Look at this photo.
I mean, any kind of like 80s metal or hair bands.
Oh God!
Yeah,
You're gonna
I
get Will
love
on
it.
another
You
subject.
have been hanging out with the Gillies for too long.
I mean,
Dream
don't hate.
Theater.
I mean,
I'm not
don't get me
down.
wrong. I like rap, but I don't know, man. When I get to jamming to some hair bands, man, I'm just
Who's your favorite hairband?
that. When you're singing, you're feeling good,
That's right.
and when you're feeling
you
good,
wear-
you're putting good.
Did you
Despite
wear
what the shower says.
AirPods during your round at any time? Any headphones during your round?
No, man. When I step up, there's nothing to
That's my pet peeve. Earbuds or AirPods.
Airbud.
I mean,
AirPods.
Airbud.
I hate that movie.
I
Damn
do
it,
too.
Airbud.
Damn it, so unrealistic.
too many puppies.
Too many puppies.
I can't even suspend disbelief.
Why AirBud? AirPods, earbuds,
Okay, so
AirPod.
yeah, don't wear earbuds
Or yeah,
and don't.
and all.
AirPod on.
And
Sorry.
don't you dare bring up Airbud around him.
He does.
Man.
He does make a good point,
Bro,
though.
I've got little ears. They wouldn't stay in my ear when I throw. Like, there's no chance. You can even buy the little, the headphones with the
was
rubber
that
pieces.
was that your ear
Yeah.
pod hitting a
There's
tree?
like
no,
15
I
people
aced.
who listen to
You
this
can
show.
get the
Who's gonna
smallest
get
one, and it's gonna be like,
yeah,
be like a bottle rocket.
yeah.
Everybody else is gonna be like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" Airbud.
Your earbud just hit me. Hey man, help
Like
me find my
AirBud and
earbud.
3 Ninjas.
There's seven.
Oh, dude.
There's
Let's go.
17 diehard millennial fans of the podcast
Yeah.
listening right now, going, "What?"
AirBud, look it up. Streaming.
They're like, "What are you
service
talking
near you.
about?"
Why
Stone
do you
doesn't know what we're
why
talking
do you hate AirBud? You know that dog movie?
Yeah,
Okay.
Wait, bring it all.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank God.
of course.
Yes. All right.
Oh,
Oh,
I love this show.
man. Stone, if you were a crayon, what color would you be?
Scarlet.
Oh, shit!
We haven't had that one yet.
No, that's deep right there.
That was my favorite crayon when I was a kid.
Whoa.
I mean, it was like an oil pastel, dude.
Damn.
You just
All
I just.
I won't even
I
ask
was
another
not-
question about that.
I
I'm
was
just gonna
not
go with
guessing
his.
that.
Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
yes.
Oh,
All day, every day, always Hawaiian.
Write it down. Make the mark. Make the mark.
I like my
I
pineapple.
didn't make it shit.
we ain't making no marks.
All right.
I love this show, by the way. I miss
yeah.
you guys.
I'm trying to milk it because we wasted a friggin' hour. Stupid.
I'm not even gonna.
All right.
No public service announcements for me tonight. I'll save that. I'll save that in the chamber.
I'm gonna see if there's any
Chamber.
Yeah.
My wife is now texting me cheesy gordita crunch. I'm like, what
All right,
the
now
fuck
I'm
was
hungry.
that supposed to mean?
Yeah,
I didn't say I was going to Taco Bell.
I'm getting hungry.
Sounds like you've been voluntold.
about this.
Yeah.
It ain't easy, bitch.
Hey, that Taco Bell. They've been renovating Taco Bell on Charlotte.
The one over off the Bellevue exit, like I caught a glimpse inside that place recently. That
The
looks
one that's
like
by
a
the
dang
Costco
old-
and the
no,
Chick-fil-A,
The
or-
one over by Home Depot.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen?
It looks like a nightclub in there.
Yeah, it's nice now.
Have
you
you
can
seen the
kinda
new
hear it.
Subway drive-throughs where you have to press? You can't. You're not talking to anybody. You're just kind of selecting stuff. So like you're sitting in the drive-through and it's like, damn, but they go quit pressing that screen. You know? Like golly, dude. It's like I gotta add this.
Keep going with that. Add this.
This.
Add that. Add that.
And that. And this.
Extra.
This. Give me that. This. Give me that.
Let me feel your tongue ring. Is it rusty?
We're off the rails. Good night, everybody.
I love you guys. Good night, Nashville.
Thanks for tuning in to episode 40. Drink some Fodiozy. And love you guys. Catch you on the course. And next week on the next episode. Who knows who will be in the Sapphire Lounge?
Thank you, Craig, for being my caddy.
And Stone, thanks for coming tonight. and
brother.
we're very proud of you. I can't wait to see what you
Nashville has got your back. They were rooting for you, man.
I might sign up for something smaller here soon if I can find something. But my next tournament will be Kentucky States at Mar Park, which I absolutely love that place.
next. Yeah, that's a dope park.
Watch
Have
out.
not
It is
had the pleasure.
the shit.
Watch out, America.
I will go there every year for sure, and I'm thinking actually about going back out to Utah to do Utah Open next year for sure.
There you go.
Because I'm going back to the fort.
Okay.
gonna go
you
see
like
you.
it that much?
Oh yeah.
Good.
I feel like he's about a couple tournaments
This man
experiences
right
away
here.
from traveling.
Yeah, I was gonna say this man's
like,
a few
hitting the
few
road.
stops
He's-
away from.
he's
Well,
about to be a touring pro.
I talked to my boy Justin Bonnell, aka Seabiscuit. I mean, when he takes off, bro, he takes off.
yeah.
But
I like it.
but I mean, like I talked to him. He said any tournament that he signs up for to travel, I'm more than welcome to go with him. So I just looked through his list and start signing up for stuff.
Hell yeah,
Hey.
he's a good person to travel with too. That
Oh, yeah.
guy's
Get
been,
out there, bro.
been at it for a long time.
He's the bomb.
Before we go, if anybody's listening out there, who would be your dream sponsor?
Justin Bonnell.
Yes.
You want to sponsor me,
You're in the
bro?
wrong industry.
Yeah.
You need to get on some sponsorships, bro.
Just kidding. I mean, I don't know.
Real talk though, shout out your sponsors while we got you before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right. I would like to thank my sponsors, Unity Apparel, Black Monocle Discs. There's a lot of
Enchante.
them. Yeah, Enchante Creations,
Ace.
Ace Disc Golf.
Zachary Hoy.
NPID.
This guy right here.
I just pushed him.
Look
I
how
said,
big this sponsor is.
I said, yeah.
You guys to my biggest
We just took a lot
sponsor.
across the line.
Hey, it's coming from a very little guy.
He
That's
means,
cool,
he
bro.
means your brain. He
Shots
means your brain.
fired.
yeah.
L for love.
No.
And Crown Real Estate. Yeah, and Warren's Craft Burgers in Dillon's.
Dang, we got more
Dude.
sponsors
Oh,
than
man.
sponsors, dog.
Man,
Pay
they
that
gave
man
me
his money.
$100 gift card and three $25 gift cards to eat some awesome food. So shout out Craft Burgers.
Oh,
Hell
man.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Keeping
I'll
the young
take that.
man fed.
So if you ever go to Ogden, go to Craft Burgers.
Yes,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I will do.
I'm excited to see where you go from here, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm
I'm
going
just
to
excited to see it. Watch.
The sky.
Enter.
The
Like I
sky's
said,
the
I'm a
ceiling,
learner,
brother.
and I got a lot to learn. So
Well,
6 years is not enough. Got to keep going.
well, you're in the right state of mind. You're going to soak
Yeah.
it up like a sponge. And we
Oh, yeah.
will be here to support you every step of the way. And next time you have something exciting you want to get out on the airwaves, holler at us. We'll get you back in here.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Get you in here to do some commentary on some videos.
And
We're
maybe
doing
it
that
won't
now.
take us twice,
Ooh.
3,
Yeah.
4 times.
So 8 takes, 8 fails.
Yeah.
Great blooper reel, though. You guys are going to really love that.
Yes, sir.
Well, you by the time you see this, you will have already loved that. If not, head over to the YouTube channel and check out episode 39. And we will see you next week.
Peace.
Let the bass kick.